Hello, Spider friends, and welcome to another episode of the Spider-Man Retrospective. I am big time Travis Snell.
I am Black Cat Kyle Smith. Damn it.
Did you mess up your own name?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Are you sure you didn't
It was
use...
kind of like the Smythe.
Smythe?
You kind of got that.
I'm Kyle Smythe.
Smith, Smythe,
And are
Smith,
you
it's,
sure? Because it was a while ago. I feel like you probably used the Black Cat nickname on the
Yeah,
previous
but did he
episode.
do the little
The Black
the
Cat.
little dance? You know, that's the important.
You'll
thing.
have to
Trouble
check out
in
the
Paradise,
previous
love.
episode. What?
Yeah, what?
Yeah, Black Cat. I'm in love, but like I don't know if I'm really in love.
I just want...
It's a different kind of love to them, isn't it? Because it happens very quick. It's just.
At some point before you introduce yourself, I really want the next time we get Kyle and Taylor to get on a cast for them to introduce the show and just see how long that goes. Because you guys bungles intros all the time, you know? You start that and you go up, but sometimes these intros, you know, they're
Yeah,
little
Taylor,
questionable.
like sometimes you like throw a question his way. It's like a very simple question, and he like has to add, like he like specifies what exactly you're asking. He's like, I don't care, dude, just say something.
You gotta keep the listeners on their toes, you know.
And finally, we're joined by...
The wall crawling menace. Showing
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are first time listening to the show, you're making a mistake because you go all the way back and listen from the very beginning because we're getting near to our finale. This is episode. This is the 5th last episode of the series. I count. We have 4 more after this. It's nuts.
I thought there was a season 5.
What?
A
There
season
is, but
after.
there we do them in 4 episodes. So that's what I mean. By the time we review
Oh, I
them,
see what you mean.
yeah.
I thought you meant like individual episodes.
Yeah,
Like,
season
I
five.
think you're big wrong with that, friend.
So we're getting near the end. You should go back. We are reviewing every episode of the classic 1994 animated Spider-Man series. We've been on quite a road.
Mhm.
Season 4 started off hot and heavy with Black Cat. We're in the thick of things.
It's
right
been a
now.
spicy season.
Yeah.
What
It's
I will
pretty
say,
interesting.
what I'll say about these 4 episodes, they're kind of fucking weird and all over the place. I
Yes.
feel like there's some weird stuff tackled, there's some good stuff tackled, there's some bad stuff tackled. We're kind of running the gamut, and I don't think it's ever dips in quality of being bad or anything like that. But there's definitely a few questionable episodes, and I've never done like a review of
Yeah,
all of them.
yeah.
But I just thought about that when I watched all 4 of these. I'm like, man, this is like when you go to M&M's and you buy like that like appetizer platter. It just has like a bunch of different things on there. Like there's no rhyme or reason. It's just like, okay, there's a cheese pocket,
And
crab
there's like
pocket.
not really a focus on like one particular thing.
No, other than like which we're gonna get into the Black Cat
Yeah, she's in
Spider-Man
it a lot,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, like that feels like the 1/3 line. Everything else is just like this random stuff happening. I'm
Yeah,
excited to talk about it.
This season, like the first 3 episodes were kind of a lot of introduction into, you know, introducing Black Cat and
Yeah.
then like more backstory and Felicia, but now it's just like now that she's an established character,
Shit's happening.
yeah, it's just like let's just bring back everyone and
Yeah.
throw them in here and
Like one episode,
scramble
so
a
many
bit.
people come back. It's
Yeah.
kind of fucking
It's
ridiculous.
Great.
almost
I
too
love
much.
it. It's like a flashback for me. I quite enjoyed it.
Hey, they do quite
They
a bit
do-
of flashbacks.
yeah, like I think it's episode 7 where there's at least like 3 or 4 different.
They're like us. They know, like, people that are tuning in now, they're not going back, so we need to flash back this shit and show them everyone's goddamn origin again. But
That's true.
yeah, let's start with the first episode of this. So episode 4 of the season, Return of Kraven. Was it Return of Kraven or The Return of Kraven?
The Return of Kraven.
The Return of Kraven.
Big Crave.
Spider-Man teams with the Black Cat in an attempt to confront Kraven the Hunter. After Kraven alludes to the heroes, there are various reports of attacks. Deborah Whitman decides to investigate.
Also, yeah, a lot of Deb.
Yeah, we're gonna talk. I'm just laughing at the thing about Deborah. And she, Black Cat, Flash Thompson, and Dr. Kirk Connors hunt for clues and succeed in identifying the DNA as a female. It turns out that Dr. Crawford, once again, these Wikipedia things, sometimes they're so vague, they're just like, Spider-Man's on an adventure, and he's Doc Ock's in the way, what's gonna happen? And this one's just giving you the whole plot. It turns out that Dr. Crawford has, Maria? We always
Maria.
Mariah. Dr. Crawford has been given the same serum that drove Kraven crazy. Say that 3 times fast. In order to heal her from her fatal disease. Unfortunately, it mutated her into a feral form. Luckily, Dr. Connors creates a serum that restores Dr. Crawford's mind, allowing her to live as Kraven's equal.
Wow.
That's
Let's
the
move on to the
entire
next
episode.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much more we have to
Thanks,
say to that.
Wikipedia.
I think the
Doing our job
one
for us.
wrong thing on there is that Black Cat and Spider-Man don't really team up at the beginning.
No, they're not partners.
They're not partners.
That's not until the next episode called Partners.
Yeah, we have.
So the synopsis is a little off by that, but
yeah, a little. It's
They're getting there.
A little
They're
fast
I
and loose.
I see it.
I'm very excited to talk about the Spider-Man Black Cat like dynamic, but the overall episode for myself, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I think all these episodes I enjoyed, but I think right now, which we'll have to look back, because I think we'll probably do a ranking episode. That's how we usually end retrospectives, and we'll do like all our favorite episodes, favorite seasons. I definitely think this season is unfortunately, there's some good stuff. I think in the lower tier, not because it's bad, just because I think 2 and 3 had some really strong episodes and some strong arcs where I do feel like we're just kind of jumping all over. And they're fun episodes. I had fun with this. I don't think it's bad episodes, same as other episodes coming up. But it was very lackluster at one point, especially when we get to the ending. The last 5 minutes of this episode, nothing fucking happens.
I agree.
And it's like, not even that it happens, just like it's building up and then it's like, oh, this is how we're going to end it? Okay, like, the season for me has been weird, where the first 3 episodes felt very much like season 3, where it's like that, we kind of talk about, like, those mini, like, an hour-long, like, movie-like quality, right? Where it's like, oh, we're trying to tell one big story. We're all over the place, and this suffers from that. Kraven, it's great to have him back. Love Kraven. The twist with Maria, I think even as a kid, or Mariah, I could have saw that coming. It just made sense the way he was talking about, the way they set it up. But I think that was good. It made sense to bring Kraven back because that's what happened. And yeah, I think Black Cat and Spider-Man stuff there to stand on all these episodes. So yeah, I'm excited to talk. And there's a couple of good moments in here. There's a lot of development going on with Peter right now. He's very torn in these 4 episodes.
He's very conflicted. But once again, we see that he's very wishy-washy.
Oh, 100%. There's so many lines I have in here that he is the most, like, fucked up guy you'd ever want to date. Like, he's all over the map.
He doesn't know what he wants. It's okay.
No.
I found this episode for me to be pretty mediocre. I actually find a lot of these episodes just to be pretty mediocre.
Well, you sound quite high on it in our opening.
Yeah, but the last,
He's come down.
you know,
Yeah.
I watched the last one. I was like, yes, awesome. But
Yeah.
the rest of them, I didn't think. I think they were good. They weren't bad, but like they were just all right. You know, you just get through the episode. It's great to see Kraven to come back, and yeah, the plot is kind of like predictable of how it worked out. And I don't know.
I'll say the ending was not predictable, but we'll definitely get there because
there is no ending.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true too. But I don't know. Like it's just again all right. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's good to watch.
Yeah,
It's tough when you're coming off the Goblin Wars still, like those last 3
Yeah,
episodes
true.
of season 3. It's tough when you got that and you got this stuff going on.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Like I mean, I'm just bummed that there was no ending to this episode. I had to actually I went back. I was like, did I miss something? Like, what exactly? Why did this just end right now? And obviously, it's not like a part 1, part 2 situation.
No.
It's just, I guess, setting up like what's gonna be in some future episode, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably.
I don't know if it is though. Like
I
if
think-
I recall, because we're gonna
This
be
might
down
be
the
the end
year
of those characters.
because I know there is I always say this because I don't want to spoil it because I know season 5 it's a big story and it's like that's another through line thing and it's like I don't think there's time in my mind trying to think back the show.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kraven comes back and if he does, I don't know if it's to follow up this fucking storyline that literally has no resolution. Like it has a resolution.
It
but
kind of does in the sense that Kraven and Maria are just assumed to be off and they're on the same playing field at this point and they can go be happy. But yeah, I mean, the episode it doesn't really end at any point, and it's kind of it's just different because there's not really like a villain in this episode. Like Kraven is kind of set up as like the bad guy at
he's the
first,
antagonist.
but it really doesn't take that long for Spidey to figure out what's going on, and then. Yeah, like that scene when they interact for the first time, when Maria and Kraven interact for the first time, and it just is kind of confusing as to what was really going on beforehand.
Well, to set it up, just in case anybody did not watch the episode and they're just listening along, it's so Mariah, it's Mariah, right? It's 100% Mariah. Yeah, it's Mariah Crawford. Yeah. She is this feral beast and everything like that because she gave her a serum. It was tougher, so
she's been attacking people.
Yeah, one thing I love that Kraven's she's been working on it, trying to improve it. It looks like it's gotten worse because look what happened to Kraven when he took it. Look at what happened to her when she took it. She literally is a woman who turns into a beast. She has hair, everything like that. My thing is so that happened. She's going around attacking people. They're trying.
Wait, how did she get from Africa or wherever she was to New York?
She's a fast runner.
Yeah, I guess she can swim. Too.
Yeah, there's no reason why she came back to New York because she was in Africa.
That's where things are happening.
Yeah. But so the whole episode is about revealing oh, it's Mariah, and they figure Kraven's not a bad guy. He's just trying to help out his wife and everything like that. And then they make this plan, him, Black Widow, and Spider-Man to capture her. And it's the most anti-climactic. Black Cat. I called her Black Panther earlier too.
Really?
Yeah, I'm on a roll.
Yes.
They make this plan, and then when they see her, they literally just do this thing where they just all grab her, they give her the serum, and it's over.
Yeah.
There's not even a fight scene, there's nothing. She doesn't even throw a punch. Literally, just find her, and they just grab her, serum, and then she's like, then Kraven's like, oh, my love, we're gonna fix you. And she's like, no, I don't want to be fixed. I'm your equal. We can live together. And then Kraven's like, yes, we can roam together in the jungles free. and then they're just like, "Thank you, Spider-Man," and they literally just walk away in the shadows, and that's it. It all happens in 3 minutes, like 17 minutes of build up for a 22 minutes episode, and then the last 4 minutes is just like Serum. Hey, let's just stay like this. Okay, they walk away, and that's it, and they just go, and Spider-Man's just like, well, I hope they'll be all right. It's like, what the fuck happened in New York tonight? Like,
it's weird because they don't even really seem like they were like feral at any point. Like they seemed like pretty much themselves, but then like off screen, you know, apparently Maria was attacking people or something, and Kraven. I don't know why it's one of those. It's those movie things where.
Remember his difference.
But he still took that serum to make him the hunter, right? So he should
but
still be kind of fucked up.
It's still like the classic movie thing where like he could have just alleviated all of this problem by mentioning to Spider-Man what was going on the first time they met, but instead
hey, it's not me, it's my wife.
Scene, and he whips out that forklift and just catches Spidey with a forklift of all things. I don't know how that happens.
I put that in my notes. So at the speed he's going, do you think he should have impaled Spider-Man? Because he just rammed Spider-Man against the wall, but the speed he was going, I think that should have like decapitated Spider-Man. I don't know. That's just what
I think it'd be very hard to get that sweet spot where you're sticking him in place, but not impaling him. So, I mean, if anyone can do it, I guess Kraven.
Yeah, and
I mean, I don't know if he has his license.
And plus, Peter has a pretty strong chest, you know. Like,
he's pretty strong.
If you look at him and where he wears that classic, like, I don't know, turquoise shirt with his like purple whatever, we still gotta do Halloween cosplay.
Peter's gonna be like down and out for a while. So like for someone to jump in a forklift, start the forklift, and then get it going before Peter like wakes up.
Well, it's not that he's down and out, he's distracted, but everything's her fault in this thing.
Well, yeah, because
woman, I don't want your help.
This episode,
he hates
obviously we talk about how wishy-washy he is, but like next episode, spoiler, he's like in love with her and all that stuff. But this one, he's like he just can't get rid of her.
He's not fully in love with her in the next one. At the end, he goes, I think I might be in love.
Right.
And so it goes from like, he doesn't hate her, but he hates the idea of, he literally just keeps saying,
well,
like,
he's really
leave me alone.
He's
like,
in a really bad mood in this episode. Like, he has a couple lines where he's like, I don't have feelings for anyone. I have no friends. Like, I can't remember what he says exactly, but it's
right now.
Like, there's a scene. And there's that scene with Harry in this episode, right? Yeah, like Harry, he's just cruising by MJ's house. And Harry is like there, he's just like wallowing in sadness at her house for some reason. It's kind of strange. And then Spidey's just like on a roof. He's like watching it, and he's like, "Oh, Harry looks so bummed. I don't know what I can do." And he just like pieces out.
And then I can't wait. Let's see what he does to Harry at the end, because that's so much I want to get into the Harry stuff, like his idea of what's gonna fix this. But like, yeah, there's so many lines. Like at one point he's talking about like the big thing is he keeps telling Black Cat to like not be a crime fighter, like it's not gonna do you any good, and he just constantly calls her lady. Like he legit just like, get out of my way, lady. And then at one point he's just like,
he's pretty sad. And
then he's like, you just need to stop this, it'll ruin your life. And then he goes, you'll regret it. And then he walks away, he just swings away, and there's like a 2 to 5 second delay, and then he just goes, as he's swinging, he's just like, big time. Like,
I don't remember this at all.
He says, you'll regret it. He swings away, and then he's like, big time. Like, he just yells it out. I'm like,
I feel like he's
the next time I get in a fight with somebody,
coming back to like quippy Spider-Man in these episodes.
Angry quippy Spider-Man.
In this one.
You know what? I think they just bring up the fact that Mary Jane is gone. He's still dealing with that.
True, it's
mentioned in every single episode.
Which is true. It is
some flashbacks here and there in case you forgot that she fell off a bridge.
And like in the episodes, this one is mentioned in like, oh, Black Cat shouldn't do this because I could lose her. Then it's like, oh, I shouldn't know Black Cat, or I shouldn't do this because if I know Black Cat, she get hurt. And then in the 3rd and 4th episode, it's kind of like, man, I really want to bang Black Cat, but I feel still kind of bad about MJ. Once again, I'd love to know like the time. I'm hoping this is a few months for him, but really it feels like a couple nights for good old Peter Parker. And
well, I mean, the last 2 episodes like a part 1, part 2, so you have to assume not much time has passed, even though the episodes I don't know could be ambiguous. Yeah. Also, for some reason, at the start of this episode, there's a scene where like Aunt May goes to stay at
completely
aunt's
pointless.
house.
You always forget her.
Makes no sense. Like I wrote down, I was like, oh, I wonder like how this is gonna be some sort of plot thing. No. I don't know how it would be, but
make sure you water my plants.
And she just has it. She has a key. He's like, should I knock on the door? No. Like I understand because she constantly hates on Peter anytime she sees him. But I was kind of surprised that she just has a key.
My favorite thing, though, too, is it makes complete sense from a story perspective. It's just the actor's voice. Like, he's talking with Aunt May, like, oh, hey, Aunt May, like, how's it going, blah, blah, blah. And then she's just like, whatever, Aunt Peru, like, whatever her name is. She's like, she really misses MJ. And he's like, yeah. And then it cuts to narration, and he's just like, she's not the only one. Like, it's super dark and super dramatic, and it's like he should feel that way. I'm not saying it's bad writing or anything, but it's just like in the sense where he's all lovey-dovey and man, just like he gets in that like he's totally like I said like Spider-Man 3 like emo Peter in this episode. Like he should have flicked back the hair because he is so, and he has every right to be, but it felt like. Now we're in that stage of like the first few episodes felt like he was really depressed about MJ and didn't know what he was gonna do. Now he's just angry and mad about like anything that happens. And like fair enough, you can do that, but like he is
it's like
just
the 5 stages of like coming over or whatever.
It's like he just
5 stages of write that book. 5 stages of coming over what.
He just keeps
whatever
recycling and going back, and
he
never really recovers, does he?
But I would say, at some point in my life, I'm gonna end a fight by just yelling "big time" because no 2 words could stress your point even more so. You know, like I want extra cheese on this pizza, big time.
That could be. I don't know. It might be an actual thing at some restaurant.
And also, this is the beginning of like Flash and Deborah that we start to see as well too.
Well,
I
don't think it. Well, what do you mean the sense of them as a couple or them back? Because I got the sense that they were. Because we saw.
It's hard to remember because they only have ever had like they show up in like one episode here or there.
Yeah.
But this is different because they kind of show up in all of these episodes.
Well, I think this established that they're dating because they started to buddy around the Morbius thing though. Because remember he like heard her scream and he like ran up and saved her. So they like planted the seeds.
Yeah.
But this is like now confirmed. Even though man, like he says one line when he's like. Oh, I wouldn't do this for any other girl. I wouldn't even do this for Felicia. And it's like, oh man, I don't think that's the thing you want to say to your new girlfriend. Like,
no,
you put Felicia on this huge pedestal, but
this is a weird date.
Yeah, I guess because it had ties to Morbius, it made sense. But I felt it was very weird that we haven't seen these characters in so long, and then the next time we bump into them, they're just like in this like ventilation shaft, like being detectives, and I was like, this feels a little strange. Like, I don't think these characters are. Yeah. Is it still not a ventilation shaft?
They're like in a subway looking at a ventilation.
Yeah, I know, but
I Travis, fucking idiot.
I don't think I didn't say the location. I just said the ventilation.
That scene was also super cheesy because she's like has her magnifying glass. She's like, oh look, some claws, and like 3 inches over is like, yes, a nice little perfectly piled of hair.
Yeah. I like them enough, but like they're fine. They add some. They're kind of like some cannon fodder, you know. Like.
I think it's just more to add a little more storyline because it's pretty plain as it is.
Well, in this episode, it's interesting because Flash has a line about how Deb is trying to find Morbius, and so that's kind of like the inkling of that storyline, which crops up in the other
big foreshadowing for like
big
episode later. Yeah, they really plant the seeds with that one. Oh, we're gonna get to this so later in the season. No, just an episode from now. Oh, Morbius is back. Good thing we were just talking about him. And all she's doing is looking for Morbius, but. I'm trying to think what else happens big in this episode, but really it's a lot of running around. It's a lot of Spider-Man and Black Cat arguing. Black Cat's sassy as always, and that's great. And they
a lot of like Black Cat is trying to work with Spider-Man, and he just does not want anything to do with her.
No.
So it's kind of interesting. She's like kind of putting the moves on him and everything as well too. And
she throws us some kisses here and there.
Oh, yeah. You know, you
it really fall in love with it really progresses. Later on, the few episodes later when we talk about because like she perfects the like under the mask kiss really quickly. She just walked and like
and he doesn't like flinch or anything. He trusts that like she's not gonna just whip the whole thing off.
He trusts that, but at the same time he doesn't trust her enough to reveal his identity. We'll get into that later on, but like he is going through some shit. Yeah. I have to say that I like Black Cat and Kraven has like themes. Kraven already had that, so when he pops in the episode, they have that jungle themes going on. I can't hum you the Black Cat theme, but she had a specific. Anytime she's on screen, she kind of had like a different sort of score, so that was cool.
The music was actually noticeable in these episodes. That was cool. There's this one scene when they go to one of the zoos. Spidey goes to like 3 different zoos in this episode, but
parks.
Sorry, parks.
It's another word like kill. They can't say on.
They can't say zoo.
Can't say zoo.
Animal cruelty or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Spidey ties up Kraven, and then Black Cat shows up where she just pops that serum out. Like she just had it already. It seemed kind of strange. Yeah. But I thought this scene was so funny because, Spidey had Kraven all tied up, and he was like questioning him on what was going on, and Kraven was just like yelling for some reason. Like it was really awkward. He was talking. Like, the specific word, like, when he was talking about what happened to her, he was like, her recovering was miraculous. She was healed. He was but he was so angry. He wasn't really angry, but he just really raised his voice.
He was worked up about
it. It really caught me off guard. It didn't fit the scene at all.
He's Kraven the Hunter at that point.
Yeah,
and he starts to cool down a bit.
I loved his little narration story though. I liked we had a solid 3 minutes of just Kraven just monologuing. I think because I like the voice actor, so I like hearing his voice. Like I think if they do this again, I don't know if it's gonna happen, but man, like maybe the episodes he's in aren't the greatest, but every time I get a Kraven episode, I do want to see Kraven in a movie, like really bad. You know, like I want to see an actor. Yeah, I want to see an actor with that voice, with the fucking cheetah headline get up. Like I want that so bad, and I don't want it in like some like throwaway like Paul Giamatti Rhino thing. Like I want him to be the villain, and I hope we get it.
Not like
one day.
Shocker in Homecoming.
No, exactly. So fuck you, Homecoming. I like the movie, but come on, Shocker, he didn't wear a mask. Yeah, when I was talking about this earlier moment that I remember. So in the middle fight with the forklift with Kraven, at one moment, Kraven has the upper hand or something. Black Cat helps Spider-Man, and then in his narration, she's like, "Oh, Black Cat's helping me. Like, I've never had like a partner before to watch my back." And then that thing happens with the cat and everything, and then saves her, and that gets Spider-Man pinned up against the wall. And literally 30 seconds later, he's like, "All you do is screw me up. Like, you get in my way." And it's just like literally 30 seconds ago, he's like, "Oh, this is great. I have someone I could work with." And then no, it's like she's the worst. She's ruined everything. Like, yeah. Really all over the place in this episode.
Well, I feel like you think, oh yeah, they have it on my back, and then they like, go to save a cat instead of trying to save you, and you almost die. I'd be pretty pissed too.
I guess, but then I guess so, but like they shouldn't have had that line then at him talking about being a partner, and it's like, man, like it really jumped quick. I get the cat thing, but like I don't know, like
I know it's him and Homing about the idea.
Yeah,
and that just like throws another negative why you shouldn't be with her.
Stay out of my way, out of my life. I like that line. Peter said the Black Cat. I have a lot of lines.
Very melodramatic.
Stay out of my way.
I like how Black Cat phones O'Connor or Dr. Connor at night. O'Connor. Fast and Furious. Dr. Connor at night, and he's just like wakes up. He's like hello, and you can see his like wife beside him in bed, and it's like, why are you calling him at such late night? We need you right now. He's like, oh yeah, I'll be right there. And then he's so super chipper, and then he hangs up. It's like, as the wife, like, when did you wake up and like, what are you doing at this time?
The other weird thing about that scene is like, when she calls him, he's like clearly sleeping. He's like kind of dazed, but like the light was on, so it was very bizarre.
It's a bizarre episode. Here's another line I had when Spider-Man thought that Kraven had killed Mariah. It sounds so like I laughed a little because I feel like him and Mariah. When I thought about it, I thought, actually they have had a big relationship. They knew each other for quite a while. But at first when I heard it, I'm like, man, you've only known her for a few episodes here and there. But they did, like, he kept going to her when he was hurt. So I was like, okay, I was completely wrong. But then it just, like, I laughed at it because it just sounds so depressing. When he's like, I lost Mariah. And he's like, Mariah, and it's his narration. He's like, I can't lose her too. And it's like, oh man. It's like MJ with her dad. It's like Peter's having a rough fucking go right now. So I like that. And then, but even then, like, once you brought this up right, Dan, but like Kraven speaks in so like riddle fashion. Like he makes it sound like he did kill Mariah, until like Black Cat's like, no, he's talking about it in a way like it's a tragic love. It's like, why couldn't he just be like, I didn't kill her, like I love her, but like he really wanted to like fuck with like
he could have alleviated a lot of wrongdoings.
If his episode was on April Fool's, I would have given him the pass, but we don't know that, so
yeah. I wonder what Wikipedia says on that one.
I think he's just there to troll Peter.
The episode came out in February, so that's a far off from April, my friends. So
the other scummy, you mentioned Flash and how he made that Felicia Hardy comment. The other moment is when he meets Black Cat, and he's just. What did he say? He's like, I wouldn't drop a hot New York minute if you needed me. He said something really
if
weird.
Spider-Man doesn't need you, but
like right in front of Deb, like he's such a piece of shit.
But Deb knows that's the best she can get. Like that's the bar for her. Like she's.
I think Deb's cool, man. She's smart. She made the antidote to cure them.
Would you date Deb?
100%.
100%.
No.
110%.
If you got some weird, wild disease that these guys had, she knows how to make an antidote.
I'm just gonna phone Kurt Connors.
She's got nice big glasses.
Big glasses.
I don't know. I also don't need a girlfriend who's like in the The
Actually,
subway ventilation.
if she would date Flash Thompson, I probably would want to be that kind of person.
Yeah.
But she's also in love with another guy, so that's kind of an issue.
Yeah, true. She's also in love with Morbius.
So can you actually give her that? Maybe that's why she's like, yeah, Flash gonna like have a crush on a girl because I love like Morbius still. So that's fair. It's like a House of Cards, like Kevin Spacey, Robin Wright thing. I guess we can't say Kevin Spacey's name anymore.
You can say Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. Is this gonna? I'm gonna bleep it out. Do we have anything else to talk about before? Because I want to save the Peter and Harry stuff for last, but
No.
okay. So yeah, Dylan brought that up earlier. The scene where Harry's looking really depressed. Peter's like, "Oh, I wonder what I could do to help." Peter ran.
Well, actually, first he's like, "Who is that guy?" It's like he's a pretty noticeable dude. His hair,
he's
his
the
hair is
most
like
noticeable.
neon red. And he wears the same orange jacket and bright blue jeans.
In the color
every day.
spectrum, like wherever they keep that in the world, like they should change. There's all these shades of red, and one of them should just be called Harry Osborn 1994 animated Spider-Man because it is a vile,
It's very distinct.
red. It's distinct, but it's very unique at the same time.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So Peter knocks on his door. And Peter just says, "You still looking for a roommate?" Something I don't think has been established for us, the viewer.
That was like episode 1, dude. Get over it.
Yeah, he's still looking. But like again, it's just like, oh, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, like I could sure use one." And then he's just like, "Yeah, like I think we could both use a little help right now." And then they just walk in, and Peter's moved back in, and like we're gonna get into what that leads to, but like. It just felt so out of the blue, and that just fits everything that's happened with Peter and Harry. One minute they didn't know each other, they moved in, and then he's my best friend. Like their relationship moves so quickly in this show,
and you don't get like any like hints of like they're best friends. They have conversations. They're talking best friends things. It's just like, yeah, we're best friends.
We've never got those moments of just like we've never got an episode of them hanging out. It's always like, oh, I'm saving Harry because I'm also saving MJ. Or I'm also saving Norman. Like there's never been like a Peter Harry bonding episode, you know? And it's just like. I was waiting for it because, maybe this is it, but no. These next episodes, like, Harry gets the super shit in, and I can't wait to talk about it. Like, Peter's idea of helping Harry is just, like, making things 100% worse. Because either Harry's going to feel like he's rejected or feel like he's being crazy because he's, like, walking into Peter's room. He's like, I thought I heard something. Harry is, like, in a worse place than Peter. He's lost his dad, too. Like, come on, Pete. Like, you're really fucking things up, but... Yeah, I don't know if you guys have anything more to say, but I love what happened with that, and
they have a very suspect friendship, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it makes the episode interesting. So
it makes for me the next episode. I had a huge laugh at what happens, and we'll get into that. I'm probably gonna lead with that because we're talking about it now. But for this episode, I'll give it a thumbs up because I enjoyed it. There were some really rocky roads here. I don't think I can give it the middle thumb because there was Black Cat and Spider-Man stuff that I loved, and then there's some unintentional stuff that I loved. But yeah, just a thumbs up episode. I enjoyed it. Not some of the best stuff, not some of the worst stuff.
I'm gonna give it mediocre, medium. I don't know what this horizontal thumb.
Middle of the road.
Middle of the road. I thought it was an okay episode. There's a lot of good things, but it didn't really like grab my attention because when I think about giving something a thumbs up, I think about those the Goblin and Hobgoblin episodes and where we really enjoyed them. So I don't think it was definitely not at that level. I think it was just it's a good plug filler episode.
Good plug. Cheap plug.
Cheap plug.
I'll give it a nice 45-degree thumb. It's
yeah,
it's not quite worthy
I
of a
think I'm
thumb
actually
up.
kind of where you are, yeah, because it is tough giving it a solid thumb, but yeah, I'm like, a good call there.
45-degree.
Partners. Smythe, currently working as Silvermane's Silvermane, top scientist, kidnaps Black Cat. He then bribes Spider-Man into capturing the Scorpion or the Vulture, it's a choice, whom both have a unique DNA.
It's a nice choice to have.
Samples which are essential for Silvermane, if he is to be restored to adulthood in exchange for Black Cat's release.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 5, Partners. That word gets thrown around quite a bit in this episode. I want to start where we left off, though, with Harry. And I guess I'll get this. This, to me, I feel like the exact... I like this one a bit better than the Kraven one, because it feels like it does have an actual ending.
That's important to have.
But like, I think they're playing in the same ballpark, these episodes. But the Harry thing. So Harry goes to his room. He knocks like, oh, hey, Pete, like, you got a second?
Yeah.
Peter literally goes, sorry, I'm busy right now, Harry. And then he just jumps out the fucking window. I couldn't believe, like, that's the excuse. Like, sorry, I'm busy. And then he just, like, and, like, it didn't even sound like he cared. He just sounded like he just wanted Harry out of the way. He's like, oh, yeah, sorry, I'm busy right now. and then, what the fuck? The next episode, this happens again where he's like...
Was that in this episode?
That was this episode because in the next episode is when Harry just walks in there and he's like, I thought I heard something.
Oh,
but in this episode, Peter responded to him. Said, oh, no, sorry, I'm busy. And then he walks in the room and Peter's not there and he doesn't even question. He's like, oh, like, he doesn't even say, like, what's going on? Like, he just, like, looks out the window. Super fucking weird. And I laughed so much when he's like, oh, yeah, I'm kind of busy. Sorry. And I, like... What's the point of you moving in, man? Like, what's going on? Like, just give him a second. Throw on your fucking clothes and just talk to him for a second. Because he's always just like, hey, I'm feeling kind of down right now, Pete. Like, he always starts that way. And it's like, oh, boy.
Do you feel like Harry would be, like, a pretty annoying friend to have, though?
I don't know, because he
like,
is
obviously
super
you want to
down.
have sympathy for him. But he was kind of an asshole at one point, too, a little bit.
Peter did take his girl, though.
Yeah... But that was originally Peter's girl, though, as well.
Yeah, but then Peter kind of screwed that. It's Harry Osborn is a tough
don't get me
kid.
wrong. Spider-Man I already know is a bad friend.
You,
But my question is Harry also a bad friend?
I don't think Harry's a
No.
bad friend. I think he just keeps getting put into these stupid, like, unfortunate situations.
These stupid situations.
My question is, what does he do, like, in his life? Does he have a job? Does he go to
No,
school?
because he's Norman's. You know, he goes to school, but he's Norman's son, so they have money. He's well off.
Yeah.
He's the cheddar.
Yeah.
I
That
think.
doesn't mean you can't work. You know, I think he should do something with his time to get his mind off things.
I think that's right. I think he could be a good friend. I think the problem is he has so many problems that arise in his life. It is like Peter, where it's one after another. Where Peter still feels like he has Aunt May, he has a black cat. He'll say like, I have no one to talk to. But there's multiple people like trying to talk to him. Where Harry does feel like nobody's talking to him. Like even Deborah has somebody. Where Harry legitimately feels like he does it anyway. So that's where I feel like he's maybe not the greatest friend, but I think it's because of the situation. But who knows? Because other times he's like a whiny little bitch. So I don't know.
I'll give it to him that he could be a whiny little bitch if he's no one to talk to. And
like when him and
he's trying to talk to
when
Peter.
MJ left Peter, he was just like, "Oh hey Pete," like
That was a good impression.
Yeah, you don't want to deal with Harry Osborn. Like I don't know, you can't get a read. I legitimately want to sit down.
Well, we get so little of him. Like honestly,
yeah.
like season 3, 2, like I would. How many times did we see him? Like on 3 occasions, maybe.
He's like
each?
the biggest, smallest character. Like he's supposed to mean so
He
much.
should
to
be
the show,
so much more
but
important.
he's not. Like he's
Yeah.
always got on the back end of the deal, and it's super. Like for what? Oh yeah, I want to say, but like for some stuff that may happen later on, it always feels unwarranted with him because it's just there's no backstory.
Emotional development.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no connection.
Yeah, it's just so like it's superficial stuff with him. You know, we're best friends. We hate each other. The girl I loved, like my
very
father.
dramatic,
But it's like you hate like your father clearly, and you did not have a great relationship with my father. Like, yeah, good old Harry Osborn.
Yeah, it's hard because you can't, like, right? You can't blame him that bad. Like, it is kind of shitty what's going on.
I want just a solo episode of just Harry's life and like what if they come back and do
I
the
don't
show
know if I
again,
do.
I think it's the jacket.
You do.
I
you wanna-
do.
You
Yeah.
asked. What does he do? Yeah. What does he do with that jacket?
It's the jacket. No one wants to talk to him. He wears the same clothes every day.
Well,
That
scared
jacket's got to
too.
mean something.
I don't know
Maybe
if
it's
you.
his mother's.
I don't know if you can have that jacket with that hair. You know?
Oh, well, he's pulling it off.
Is he now? Is he?
He's
Yeah.
been trying his whole life.
Yeah.
So what else? This episode, this is the Silvermane. This is the first time we see him since the Tablet of Time episode, which is way back. Well, that was in season 2.
Yeah, it's like the
season
finale
two.
season 2. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
I thought that was gonna be really big, and that episode's just kind of far in the way. Like it's all right.
Yeah,
but
yeah, we talked about that. It's just-
yeah, go check it
could
out.
be cool,
Yeah.
but
He's a mouthy little baby in this one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. I love it. I
You
think it's really funny.
I liked it too. I thought it was something different.
Yeah.
It's not what I was expecting. I like the voice for it. I think it was
Yeah.
funny.
I liked it for the most part, other than maybe it's just because he was a kid.
It's not something I'd want like
No.
All
in
the
a
time.
2 or 3 parter
No.
necessarily, but
You don't
as
want him
another
to-
one-off, like, hey, I know this guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to see what he's been up to.
You don't want him to be the main reason Madam Web's around and be like, we gotta take
Oh,
down
God.
Silvermane.
Oh.
We gotta take down this baby.
But like for me, I think I was listening to it more because he is a baby, but it felt like so many of his lines were the most generic ever. And this show is super generic, but it just stuck out a lot more than stuff though. I liked it enough. I liked the idea of like Alicia like carrying him around.
I
and that
forgot
was
what
fun.
her name was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alicia Silvermane, Peter's one time fling.
Yeah, and then we also I guess that he's in the spider suit when he sees her, but still, like, he has no reaction when she walks in. He forgot about her.
That was a hidden quitter for Peter Parker.
One night stand.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I just even wish he was.
I mean,
he would have been like, "Is that my baby?"
I feel like she was quite memorable. Like, she kind of duped him pretty hard, you know.
Oh,
Well, he didn't like that he duped. He didn't like Valor Spartan, so he just put that hat on his mind. That didn't happen. I'm Peter Parker. But
not even I'm Spider-Man. I'm Peter Parker.
We also have Smythe that comes back in this episode.
I will say when I saw
Smythe.
so because I wasn't sure because we've said this before, either the episode titles, which they're once again Partners in Danger, and then title. Either these episodes are
Partners in Danger, Partners. That's actually an awful title if you really break it down.
Especially where we end, like, not to spoil the end of these episodes, but like at one point Black Cat leaves. For the rest of the season, he no longer has this like partner, but the whole season is like Danger's partner.
Yeah.
Same thing as Sins as a father. It's like, okay, you have 4 episodes that's about someone's father, and then the rest is just about like Rocket Racer, you know, like
That was a great episode.
Fuck Rocket Racer. But the point is with
Spider
Smythe.
Slayers.
So with this one, I didn't remember because I don't read the they're not on Netflix anymore. So sometimes I don't know what's happening next. So when Peter's just doing his Spider-Man thing, and then the doors blow up, and Smythe walks through. Anytime I see Smythe, a red like alarm goes off. I'm like, fuck, this is gonna be a bad episode because every Smythe episode is usually in the lower tier. Like he started off the way like with these guys who. When we did the first episode, they were even not convinced about like, oh, this show. I don't know. Travis says it's good.
It's true.
We started with Smythe and the Spider Slayers, and even when he just says, "Oh, my Spider Seekers," I'm always like, "No, Smythe, like get away from your spider shit." Like, so when I saw him, I was like, "Oh no, here we go."
It's been a while too, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't as bad as that, but it definitely was still, like I said, the lower tier episodes of that I felt was that. And Smythe,
I would, honestly, I think I'd say this is the best episode of Smythe.
I think so too.
I agree. Yeah, he's still popping around trying to help his dad out, and the never-ending story of him and his dad always just laying somewhere in some fucking casket, like suspended animation, like cat. Like, sorry, Smythe, this isn't gonna work out. Like, just may as well give up. He just looks like
you have to give him credit for always trying. He never gives up.
And
He's
look
been
at what
shut
he's
down so many
become.
times.
Look at his body.
He's fucking disgusting.
Look at these tentacle lasers that just
Yeah,
shoot
what are
out.
those?
They just make any sense of like.
Well, he's like
Are they like some
cyborg
weird
too.
plasma, like
but
acid,
if
or
you
Well,
were
not
what?
plasma. That's something else.
If you were cyborg, wouldn't you have like not like these like octopus
You mean
like
were you Smythe?
or Smythe?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. You call him Cyborg.
Oh,
He's not the
No,
Justice
if he,
League.
no,
puppet.
like if he
If
was
he
like
were a
like
Oh, was a cyborg.
was
okay.
a cyborg,
That's
like you wouldn't
He's
have.
kind of cyborgish. I mean, he was
Yeah.
in that robot suit in that
Spider-Man
one episode.
calls
and
him a cyborg.
I don't know. His legs look like they could straight up be made of metal.
It's quite
He could
possible.
break cement blocks with those thighs. He just put it in a
Thunder
pool.
thighs.
But
Like
anyways,
the
he's
water
got like
on
these
China.
tentacle-looking things that pop up from his
Yeah.
shoulders and shoot lasers. Like I don't know where this comes from.
Yeah, like Harry
Pretty
thinks he's
creepy.
having a hard time meeting girls. Smythe's having an even harder time.
Yeah, he's got like weird fins on his elbows too. Like
And
not,
he
and like
has-
his skin is like kind of gray. Like
Oh.
he looks like he might be dead.
It's a
at
color
any
that
given
doesn't
time.
exist.
At least he can like walk around now.
Oh,
That's
what
like
what
plus.
wall color is that? Oh, it's a Smythe.
It's a Smythe. Oh, I'll get that in the Vile
It's a light
Harry.
Smythe.
The Vile Harry Osborn. Put that on my
Yeah.
paycheck. And like he also has like the fucking mullet, which at this point
Oh,
just
Yeah,
So
hell
good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
The mullet and the pincer, the laser
Oh,
pincers.
man.
And
That's
you
the
feel
dream.
like some stuff, maybe it's a result of like these like cyborg things, but it's like, yeah, why does he have like these things on his elbows? Why are his skin color like that?
Because he's like pretty smart. He could probably have these things removed.
He could
or
probably look
swapped
better.
out.
he probably couldn't have gone this situation to begin with, but here he is, Smythe.
Yeah.
Like, but then again, I guess for him, like he did like want
I mean,
to walk again.
he's also
so.
known not to be like the smart. He's
He's
got
both
the
smart.
science
He's
skills.
both smart,
yeah.
yeah.
But he doesn't really have like the people skills
Yeah,
or
not at
I do like
any
how,
social awareness whatsoever.
No,
really.
no.
I-
He's
I-
a big nerd.
I do like
Big
how
nerd.
he was like trying. You know, he's working for Silvermane, but then at the same time he has like an alter reason why he's working for him, which is for his dad. So
Yeah.
Right.
that kind of little bit of a story really secured him more of a better character.
Yeah,
than what
like
we've
Gives
seen
us some
before.
background.
Yeah, it's valid what he's doing. He's trying to help his pops out, so
Yeah.
fair enough. But like at the same time, it's just he's always trying to help his fucking pops out. You know, like
It's true.
I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think it happens because it's a kid show. But it's like at this age, I'm just like, man, I just want his dad to die so he can either like his story can end or he can like figure it out. But I think he's one of these storylines like I don't know if that ever ends. Just like oh, he's always just trying to help out his dad. So.
Perpetually out of his element. Poor guy.
Yeah.
So, Smythe, obviously he drops that you can recruit Vulture or Scorpion, which is kind of a weird thing to say, and like as a viewer it's like, well, obviously both these guys are going to be here somehow.
I completely forgot about how Scorpion like took Vulture. I didn't even know if that was on screen.
Is it, like I can't remember either.
I don't know if that was something they just retroactively made.
We didn't get a flashback, so I'm a little disappointed.
Because I feel like
there was a flashback. There was a quick thing where he was turned into like vampire Vulture, remember, like that, and they show Scorpion throw him over his shoulder, and that's it. Like it's literally 5 seconds, and I don't remember if that actually happened in the episode, but they established
because I thought Vulture was only in like his one episode.
No, he comes back with the Morbius thing because the genetic he sees it and he's like, I could come back.
You're right.
And like how we get introduced to them together is super fucked up. Like Scorpion's watching TV, Vulture's handcuffed in his closet, and then he also has a girlfriend who's like complete like
she's so annoying.
she's like
what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
She's all about like, oh Mac, we're gonna make a life for ourselves. We can get straight and everything. But then your boyfriend also has a man handcuffed in his closet. Like there's something going on here.
And he's like every 5 minutes turning from an old man to a young ginger man. Like very, very weird situation.
Did you find her voice a little off-putting?
Yeah,
I found everything
every time anything because she always said the same line. It was, "What are you doing, Mac?" Like that was 90% of her line. She was so confusing to me. At one point, she like tracks back to Smythe's base, and she just like pops it through the roof, and she's like spawning through. I'm so curious how she got up there, and then she just cruises back to the apartment.
You know what? They're perfect for each other.
Yeah, she does have another line. She'll say, "I love you, Mac." Like those are the other two, but yeah, it makes.
Don't do that, Mac.
Mac has to be all his lines. But yeah, the setup there was super weird, and even just the setup of like it felt very convoluted. Of like we're gonna kidnap Black Cat to get Spider-Man to save her, to get Spider-Man to get Scorpion or Vulture, and then we're gonna kidnap Spider-Man so we can use Spider-Man for Silvermane. And it just felt like one of these episodes.
I actually think it seems like a pretty decent plan. I mean, should Spidey have fallen for it? No.
But like, how come like? So Smythe can do all this shit. He can build all this stuff. He can make himself a fucking weird cyborg. But
I mean, look at that robot he built. Look at the Spider Slayers. They've never been successful.
Okay, fair enough. But like at the same time, he has Silvermane's money, and I feel like he's still a smart enough guy.
He needs that financial backing, though.
That's Silvermane. And then at one point when they're like, we need Scorpion or Vulture, and then Smythe's like, yes, but they've gone underground, and I can't find them. And it's just like, I guess Spider-Man can find them, but like Spider-Man, even though he has a few times in the season, like for me, Spider-Man the character is not. He's a scientist. He's not a detective. So I buy Punisher or Blade scoping out them. Yeah. But like I never even buy like Spider-Man.
And he never knows where the bad guys are. Like he's not like.
Other than that time he had the tape recorder and he tracked down. Was it Morpheus with those sounds?
Yeah, but I mean, like in general, like in other episodes when he's cruising around just doing stuff, like he's not really keeping tabs on anyone. Obviously, he probably should know where Kingpin is at all times, but he kind of leaves it on the back burner, even though it's probably a bad idea. So
very bad.
Yeah, it does seem strange that like he would be able to find them, especially if they've been in hiding.
And because I actually forget, how does he go about finding them? Because Scorpion, what does he?
He sets up like some plot, because remember he calls, I think it's Connors.
Of course, at 2 a.m.
I'm trying to remember who it was. He calls
you up.
Yeah, I think he calls Connors to like set up some weird plot that would bring Scorpion out. And there was like some car accident that was like fake or something.
Oh.
I don't know. It was kind of weird. Like I didn't really understand entirely what his plan was. It worked wonders though.
Of course I'm up, Peter. I turned into a fucking lizard. I have nightmares every night.
I'm just going back to the episode before Felicia phones him. You up? Yep, I'm up now. I'll meet you wherever.
Light's already on. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know really how he finds them. He does though.
He does.
Or he finds. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of funny. Scorpion just keeps throwing on that like really bad disguise because. The thing is, like, I guess he's like transformed into a scorpion, but it's still
the Jigsaw Jameson look. Because that's what Jigsaw Jameson wears.
Jigsaw, dude. Oh man.
Yeah, like you're a fucking human scorpion.
I hate Jameson. You turn me into this. Dresses up like him.
And it's so cheesy too because like he doesn't really ever look like he was transformed. Like it just looks like a costume.
Why am I in this costume?
Well, his body was transformed.
I know he like technically is,
and
but
it's stuck to his body.
It's like only part of his face, so like his eyes are normal, right? So it's just awkward, is all it is.
Do you think she would stay with Mac if he transforms back into like the little short stubby guy?
Nah.
You think she's attracted to the?
I think so.
The big scorpion tail.
I think she's just weird in general, and one of those crazy girlfriends that she's just down for whatever.
She would leave him for Vulture, but she only wants Vulture like when he turns back. No, when he turns back and forth. She doesn't want like a Saul one. She gets off on that.
She has
like
different moods. Sometimes she wants an older man. Sometimes she wants that like psychopath young dude.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I love you, Vulture. I love you, Adrian. Michael Keaton played that character.
Great times.
I would say that there's one line I love when Superman's a baby. She has a bottle and she's like, "You need to take this." He's like, "No, but my useless body needs it." And then he just at one point says, I've been like this since I toyed with the tablet," which I love that he's just like doing exposition, but he's saying this so they can set up the flashback. But really, he's talking to Alicia, so he's just like, "I've been like this since I toyed with the tablet." Just like, yeah, I think she knows she's carrying around all fucking day. Like, I don't think
you've mentioned it a million times, Dad.
Oh, and every time any Silvermane's around, man, the Tablet of Time, like you have a drinking game with that. They love saying the Tablet of Time, like.
They're really happy with the title of that episode. They're like, that sounds really cool, man.
That's such good alliteration.
Yeah.
Such good alliteration.
I also like the throw at the very end when he turns back into the senior Silvermane.
Senior
Silvermane. Oh
yeah. Yeah, and she's like, well, at least you don't have to deal with diapers anymore. And he's like, I don't know about that. I don't know if you guys.
He's so cheesy.
Oh, he is.
Cheesy
He
guy.
lays the cheese on. He definitely has a few pizza factories under the Silvermane name.
We didn't really. There's a couple like really cheesy things that happened at the start of this episode actually that I kind of forgot about. But at first, Black Cat is just like chilling on some building as superheroes usually do.
Yeah.
And there's like a Hardy Foundation.
Oh yeah,
van that goes by. She's like, "That's suspicious. We don't have any trucks in that color." So she chases it, and then Spidey like just sees Black Cat, so he starts chasing her. It's just like,
what is she up to?
Kind of a pretty cheesy intro, but I guess it kind of speeds the story along.
It was good because when they have their little interaction, they still were like building tension, so it showed that there's still that back and forth going on. But
the other thing is when they first see Smythe, or I guess. They're just like trying to they're just fighting the bad guys, those little like crooks that were part of that, I don't know, doing that drug deal or whatever. When Smythe comes out, he's just like, surprise! He just like rolls out of nowhere.
And he has that weird like robot raspy voice, like surprise. Like,
it just didn't seem fitting to him. It's like he found some newfound confidence and he's, I don't know, just popping off against Spider-Man now.
He's trying to.
He's really confident that those little lasers are gonna help him destroy Spider-Man.
He's brushing up his skills, so when he talks to Alicia, he'll like surprise.
Like, you're gross.
What am I?
Please leave.
Yeah. Well, we will fire you and bring Tombstone back. Don't just trust
Tombstone.
Me. If she has to, she would pick Tombstone, right? If she has to go on a date with one of them, you have to.
I would rather date someone with a cool blue skin as opposed to a creepy gray skin.
And plus, Tombstone feels like he at least is like charismatic and he's a little confident in himself. Like he's always smiling.
He's pretty jacked too, and he doesn't have weird fins on.
We're like Smythe. He's just going to be telling me about his dad the whole time and how Fisk fucked him over. And
start complaining.
And I don't know. I don't want to know what he would do with those weird pincers. And intimate situations.
A line I liked is when Mac's girlfriend was talking to him about saving up money, and then he goes, "I've almost hit $500."
Oh, yeah.
And Vulture just fucking destroys. Like, ha! $500. By the time you saved up all that money, my young self would look like my old self. Fucking
savage.
Just destroyed her. She didn't seem to care though.
No, she just took it.
I don't think she is a great girlfriend.
I don't know about that.
She's very supportive.
She's very supportive.
Maybe
of
too
what
supportive.
He's doing.
Potentially
protective, watching on his back, looking out for him. I like how Felicia says thanks, partner, and Spidey's, and they're like working out, like maybe they'll be partners or whatever. And then I think she says, and maybe more.
Oh yeah, when she
drops
that
clip.
Yeah. She loves, that's the Black Cat go-to, is like drops very vital relationship stuff like right as she's about to jump off. It's not like, oh hey, let's like What do you mean maybe more?
She
Let's
loves
talk
to
about
build tension, and it works, man. Spidey is thinking about her all the time.
Well, and then this was the first part, like, this is the first time since he's met Black Cat that he got Scorpion, he's taking her back, and then he literally says the line, I can't wait to see the cat. So this was the first really acknowledgement of him starting to feel anything like this episode, so. Because before at the beginning of the episode, it's still, like, wishy-washy, hey, I don't want you around, you know.
True.
Stay out of my way, stay out of my life, big time.
Big time. At one point, Spidey gets kind of bopped by, I can't remember who it is, and you know the quote I'm talking about? Well, you take it away.
What I think I know, and then
read my mind. What was the quote I was?
And then she goes, "Maybe I should take superhero lessons from the Hulk."
Yeah.
And I put, "Really?" Like the Hulk, which I think I've said this before. The Hulk had like a short-lived animated show. It didn't. It's that and Iron Man and Silver Surfer were a couple of shows that only had a season. They didn't pan out, but it was actually really good. All these anime shows are really good in qualities, but I don't understand her reasoning there. I think even no matter how bad Peter might have been, I don't think it's Hulk level. Hulk is in these shows still the same way as he is in stuff like armies after him. Like he's not like a go-to like, oh, he's sending the cops. Like he's so it felt like obviously she's just throwing shade at him, but like
well, it's more of a strength comparison, I think.
Okay, fair enough. I just felt like if she should have said strength when she says superhero lessons. To me, that means like
the whole
shebang.
The whole ensemble.
Yeah, and then when she says partner later on, she's like partner. It sounds like she fucked that word. Like, yeah.
Wow. That's a description, alright.
We'll be partners.
And maybe more.
And maybe more, big time. I have to give quick props to Smythe because, we really don't see him fight a whole lot previously, but in the end of this episode, like, he fucks up Scorpion, and he, even gives Spider-Man a solid beatdown and Black Cat, like, all at the same time.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even really use his lasers, he just uses, like, his fists.
It pays to look like that.
It pays to look like some creepy alien.
Yeah.
So,
Alicia,
props
here
to
I come.
Smythe. Props to Smythe.
I used to be some human being. Let's see. One other thing I like at one point, Spider-Man goes, "It's going to take some muscle," and then because Black Cat is like walking up to a door, gonna rip it off. Is that's gonna take some muscle, like in the same way he has to do it, and she rips it, and she's like, "Yes, it did." She constantly shows up Spider-Man in this episode. Big fan of that.
She does.
So that's all notes I have for
Yeah, me too.
partners.
Yeah, I'm done with notes.
Yeah. I will actually give this one a thumb up. The other one was like a meh because the ending really bugged me. It was like, I'll stick with Must with the 45 degrees. But I'll give this one a thumb up. There's enough I liked. Yeah, the Smythe thing's kind of, we've been there before. I like the Black Cat Spider-Man stuff. Again, I'm going to say that every episode, but it's done really well.
Yeah.
I like seeing Scorpion and Vultures better than them just finding some weird other goons. And if we're going to bring some people back, like I like them more than maybe like a Tombstone or I don't know who, like, or a Smythe. But Smythe was there with them, So if it was just like Smythe, I guess for me when I saw him, like, okay, they kind of saved the episode for me because like, okay, I have some attachment to these characters. I think it made sense, the plan. It just felt like every 2 minutes the plan was kind of switching. It was just like, oh, we've duped her, we're doing this, and it was just like
it was a plan that really involved like everything to go right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like for me,
every step.
Like I can understand the plans. Like I'm not saying like, oh, I'm stupid. It's too long. It's just like when they're 22-minute episodes, sometimes it gets a little bit grating of like, I want action or some good character moments, and then when they're always just talking about the plan, it's like, okay, we're just filling our stuff. Like they still could have got somewhere with the Spider-Man stuff, but yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up. I enjoyed Partners.
For myself, I'll give it a good 45. I thought it was really really interesting. There's some good things. I really liked the baby Silverman. I thought it was just different and funny. So,
it is something different.
Overall, I think it was entertaining enough. So,
I think I'll drop it a clean thumb because, not that I love Silverman or Smythe necessarily, but I think that this episode, like, is obviously a lot. I like Silverman a lot more in this episode than in previous episodes, and then Smythe as well. I think this is his best episode. So, from that perspective, I think it's worthy of a clean thumb.
Up?
Yes, directly.
Just like the Doctor.
Oh wow.
Going on to the episode,
Flashbacks.
The Awakening. The mutated Morbius is found by scientists and is taken back to New York to have his condition studied. The Insidious Six kidnap Morbius.
What?
That's what it says in Wikipedia. I guess a really fucking lame version of just like, what's the Langdon and fucking Shockers apparently.
Landon and Shocker.
Landon apparently is and Shocker.
Apparently the
Insidious. That's what it says in Wikipedia. The Insidious.
I mean, it's not like a tight knit group or anything.
No.
They're pretty loose.
They're breaking up more than Ross and Rachel. I'll tell you that. The Insidious Six kidnap Morbius for Dr. Landon, who manages to revert Morbius back to his previous vampire form. However, in the confusion, Morbius escapes while Vampire fights his foes. Or while Spider-Man fights his foes. Episode 6, The Awakening. Yeah, I liked this episode. I don't know. I think it was just because it really, other than that one Morbius line that drops, it really came out of nowhere. I guess I wasn't expecting Morbius to come back. I knew it happened because, like, I've seen the show before and I know Black Cat and him have a connection, so it's, like, seems obvious. But it seemed like it kind of came out of nowhere. And then it also felt like because we hadn't had a two-part in the while, that kind of threw me off. And it's like, it is a two-parter, but it's, like, they're connected, but not in the sense of the way
there's not a cliffhanger there.
Yeah.
No, like it doesn't feel like when we talk about those ones where they make like the mini movie. It didn't feel like that. This did feel like two distinct episodes, and I think that kind of hurt it because I like the next episode. Like we'll talk about that later when we see Blade and we have some stuff, but they throw a lot of stuff at the wall, which was kind of going all over the place. And yeah, it's funny. Like I did like the episode, but there's nothing too memorable other than like I have some notes here, but there's nothing that I really, really enjoyed about the episode other than like I like Morbius the character, I like the Black Cat Spider-Man stuff, I like the Spider-Man stuff because like he's just like there's so much sorrow going on with this guy right now and he's just like going through a lot, so I like seeing his internal struggle and his like inner monologue of what's going on in his life. But the episode was alright. I think I need to think about more when we talk about how much I really liked it, but
go ahead, Dylan.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with you. Like the two-parters, it's cool to have like interconnected aspects of them, and these ones don't really have that as well. I've always liked the Morbius storyline was a fun one, and so I think it's cool to delve back into it here. I don't know. I think all these episodes, none of them really stand out as like being exceptional or I don't know, something really worthy of praise, I guess. So
yeah,
I don't know. Once again, I'm feeling like just like good to all right on these episodes. Yeah.
I think I'll agree with you guys as well too. There's not really much more to say. I think this episode was just all right. I feel like when you told me like there's a two-parter, because I didn't read that it was a two-parter, and then I watched the second, I was like, oh, I can kind of see how like it can be a two-parter.
Yeah, like it's like loosely, it's like
it's
some
kind of
fantastic
loosely
beast shit.
together, but like it could have just been on its own as well too, and you wouldn't really had any idea. I think it's just all right, more of just a filler than anything else.
Well, that's what
like a filler to set up though for.
Well, that's what bugs me. Like it does set up, but like it bugs me that Morbius comes back in this sort of form because it feels like, and it is because Morbius like is this big man bat pretty much, and then the next episode he's like running around a lot. Like it does feel like Morbius he's in the episode, but it doesn't feel like he's in them a lot. Like he's very quiet, and I guess my thing is because what this leads to a two-parter. I always thought that. Like when I was thinking about it, and I kind of forgot about these episodes, and I think I know why, is when Morbius came back, it would be more about him, and you get a bit of his struggle, but he just kind of feels like a player in the grander episode where when we think about I think it was season 2, right? When the Morbius stuff was going on?
So, yeah.
Yeah, like he was really prominent, and like for a while, we talk about it, he had like 5 to 6 episodes, like they were all about him. So when he was coming back, it almost feels like another main character coming back to the show, and he didn't feel like that for much of
That's true.
And even like when they touch upon the him and Felicia stuff, we'll talk about. I like it, but I don't know if they were going for I think they're doing the she's confused sort of thing, and maybe they're going for the love triangle thing. But I never got a sense of where she wanted to be because it felt like she wanted to. I guess it talks a little bit about. So I might slip into the second episode, but like it. She chose to go with Morbius, but then her last conversation with Peter made it sound like she loved Peter or sort of Spider-Man a lot more. But really, in my mind, I would have thought that she loved Morbius more. Like I was unclear on that. Like I guess they're trying to play it a little like off the cuff.
It is pretty abrupt because obviously we've seen a lot of Black Cat Felicia in these last few episodes, but she hasn't really talked about Morbius at all. Like not even once really.
While,
And it seems like a really quick shift. So at the start-ish of this episode, her and Peter are having a conversation, and she suggests that they, reveal who each other are, and Spidey says no, and then it seemed like after that she just like didn't care for him anymore. In that,
she was
sense.
pretty upset about it.
Yeah, and it's not even that like the
and then later
reminder
Peter's
of Morbius swept her away. It was just like that conversation ended it for her, and it seemed like maybe that's something that would change as they work together longer because they kind of just partnered up. one episode ago. I don't know how long that is.
When you're all in, you're all in, and she want to be all in, right? She doesn't want to wait around for fucking, because people, maybe it's the Morbius thing, right? I don't want to wait for this guy to turn into a human vampire. I want to be with him now. And she just strikes me as the sense of like, also, they start partnering up, and it's a big jump for Spider-Man, but you gotta think from her standpoint, she's been in love with Spider-Man since like day one she met Spider-Man, right? So for her, she wants to jump in and get on that. And the thing with Peter, I loved later on in the episode when you were talking about how he says that. Two things. One, when he says like, oh, if people find out my, like, the identity thing doesn't make sense in this route, because they see you, like, if they see Spider-Man and Black Cat together and they want to get to Spider-Man, they're still going to go for Black Cat. That just happened in the previous episode. So it wouldn't even matter if she knows you're Peter Parker, she's already in danger, so it's like completely defeats
I took it more as like a point of trust, or if either one of them were to be like brainwashed or something by taken over by some evil dude.
Fair enough.
Then that's like really big information to have, because that that kind of thing where Felicia probably feels safe as Felicia, because she can just doesn't have anyone after her necessarily. Well, same thing with Peter, but that kind of changes if that scenario is true. And Kat, he probably trusts her. He kind of loves her or something, so he probably trusts her to some capacity. But still, that's a big thing to reveal, because he hasn't done that yet. So
I think you can look at Spider-Man though as like, when he's instead of Peter Parker, when he's Spider-Man, it's his getaway from like everything else, like around the people around him. Meanwhile, as Peter Parker, he has to show that he knows everybody instead of kind of just like, oh, I'm Spider-Man. So
so he wants to stick to his ways.
Stick to his ways. Felicia knows him, so Felicia knows both of his identities, I guess, essentially.
Well, then my second.
I think it's also the MJ. The fact that MJ is still kicking around, because like right after that scene, he has like another. We get to see another flashback of her falling off a bridge. Yeah. So, obviously, that's probably plays into his decision as well. Is like, if MJ is alive, he would probably rather tell her. I think, because even though he has feelings for Black Cat at this point, it still is pretty new. It's pretty fresh.
Yeah. Maybe it's just a fling. It's
just a fling. Whereas the opposite of how long Felicia's been in love with Spider-Man is kind of how long he's been in love with MJ.
Yeah.
Whereas he only had like a couple quick sort of, maybe one night stands with Felicia back in season 1.
I don't know if they ever got that far, but
no, I
hope for their sake.
Who knows? We have no idea how much time passes in between these episodes, so a lot can happen.
And my second point is that no one can disprove is like 10 minutes later, this happens. And he's just like, oh, maybe I pushed her away. And then later on, she finds out about Morbius, and she's acting really strange, right? She's like being very riddly and like saying, I can't talk about this, blah, blah, blah. And then he just goes like, I wonder if I've done something. And it's like, well, yeah, like 10 minutes ago in this episode, you literally like, you question like, oh, did I push her away? Like, I just thought that he totally forgot this huge moment where like he didn't reveal himself, and she got pissed and left. And he's like, oh, I wonder if I did something. Classic Peter Parker.
I think this is a classic boy movie.
Very selective memory.
Fair enough. Yeah,
I will. He has a lot on his plate.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of stuff going on in his mind.
Why would I guess from his point of view, it's like, why would she be mad at him for not revealing his identity? Like, so that's something that's secret to him, and he doesn't want to reveal.
Yeah, but she was going to do it too. That was the thing. It wasn't demanding. Yeah. She was going all in with him. I will say that I love the roof scene where they're like chasing each other, because he's like, oh, like, I'm always in peril or doing this, and this is the only time I've had fun as Spider-Man. And that was fun. It was just like them going back and forth. He catches her when she falls. Really like that. Like, that's something I want in a movie or something like that.
It's a nice shift from him just being like super pissy about anything or everything, because obviously life circumstances, but just like anything will kind of trigger him to just be super salty and kind of a dick.
Yep.
So I have a question here, actually. So Deb is doing some studying. She's investigating, finds Morbius and all this stuff. Yeah. And she mentions that she was in love with him. Yeah. I don't remember that. Was that a thing?
I think there's a lot of flashbacks in this episode that they added. Because, like, in this episode, but then, like, the Spider-Man or the Scorpion Vulture stuff, like, there's stuff that... And clearly, this is, like, to be honest, we had a big break in between filming these, so we could completely be wrong. And maybe one day if I ever listen to
this doubt we're going to forget a couple details.
Yeah, but there's been too many times in these episodes back to back where it's been like, I don't feel like we saw that. And the Deborah thing, I just remember them being lab partners, but I did not remember this like, I love you, and like, oh, but Felicia, because when they said that, I was watching the scene like, what is Morbius going to say? Because I don't remember this at all. Like, I don't remember Deborah like declaring she loved him. I think you could assume,
Yeah.
like, you could, like, guess, because she seemed like she liked Michael, but, like, I didn't think it was that deep, but...
They really throw this love word around.
Big time.
Willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Willy-nilly.
Well, you know, they only have a certain amount of vocabulary they can use to
I
describe
guess you
things.
can't say crush, so...
I think they could say crush.
Because it's very dramatic, and plus, again, we don't know how time works in this. So Black Cat and Spider-Man could have been on those rooftops for fucking, like, 6 months now, but it could also be 2 days.
That's true. That's true. Well, just one point on that. I think, you know, this season's kind of different because it's not really introducing a whole lot of new characters. It's just taking older characters and spinning their stories around. So I guess it makes sense to throw in some retcon flashbacks in order to alter the story a little bit to appease. I mean, maybe it's different writers who wanted some other backstory. But the thing with this Deb thing that's confusing to me is that, like, what's the point? Like, why would that need to be the case?
That's my
because
thing about
if
with Deb
Morbius
and
is
Flash.
gone next episode, spoiler, like, I don't know if he comes back or whatever, but I don't really foresee a storyline of him and Deb.
I guess her purpose was just to find him, right? Because she does find him in the cave. So, like, you're not gonna have Felicia, who's not a scientist. And
I don't
Peter's
know.
not
I don't know.
looking, so.
I think she's
Once
just
again,
more
like, why do they
motivation.
need to throw the love word around for this, though, right? Because
Yeah.
why couldn't she just want to find him because
They were friends.
they went to the same school and, you know, or
He helped her out
or
in
they were
bad
friends,
situation.
or
I think it's just to
yeah.
add like that extra motivation for her.
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
And to fuck over Flash.
we could have just said
And that other dude that is hanging out with Deb, who I don't know. I think he has a thing for her.
I wrote a line. When they see Morris the first time,
He goes off.
he's like, he's even more horrible than I imagined. And he yells at him and he's like, sorry, I know he's your friend. Like, he just goes for the fucking throat and then just, backs away. Like,
Speak
yeah.
first, think later.
Yeah, like, and he's so dramatic. Like,
No good.
oh my god, he's more horrible than I imagined. Like, he's so really worked up about it. And then, he apologized to Deborah, like, oh man, not good. One thing I want to shout out, so in that thing where Felicia sees the news and then she has that meeting with Spider-Man where we talked about where he's like, why is she being awkward? Like, he's trying to ask her and she's not telling him stuff.
Mm-hmm.
2 things. One, when she walks away, he does this, like, chin grab to her face and, like, turns her around, and it was fine, but it was really fucking awkward. And I don't think I've seen anyone do that. That's not like a villain. Like, that's something you do, like, intimidate. Like,
I actually know exactly what you're talking
It
about.
was weird as fuck.
Because I think it happens like a
I don't
couple
wanna see
times where he does
flirty-
that little maneuver and it never looks right. It looks like, you know, those movies that have like a live action character and a CGI character that's
Yeah.
poorly done and it just like they don't fit together.
And there's multiple times in the next episode too that like flirty Spider-Man made me uncomfortable because Peter doesn't act like that. He never grabbed chin grabbed Mary Jane, so very uncomfortable. And then the one thing
it's just
was
aggressive move.
at one point,
You know, when he has that mask on, he's not scared of anything.
I think kind of like this show, Black Cat goes, "You must think I'm a fool," and then Peter Parker goes, or Spider-Man goes, "I think you're incredible." When he said that, I just thought of, if anyone remembers the scene in Step Brothers, there's a scene where like Adam's what's the brother? What's Dale's brother's name?
I can't remember.
Who sings Vanilla Ice Ice Baby and everything like that. Anyways, he has a wife who's after John C. Reilly and he's like obsessed with him and everything like that. And then when they have sex in the washroom, I know it's a long story and it's just for me.
It's a good movie though.
And then like when later on she walks over, she's like, "Stay golden, pony boy," and she like pees in the stall and she puts her leg up and he's just like, "You're incredible." That's all I thought about when Peter said that. Like, "You're incredible." So
I
that's
gotta
my
rewatch
journey.
that movie. I didn't remember that specifically.
And here's one for
God.
Dylan Musk. Think about this, because
Ooh.
you did not see this movie when we did the original Morbius episodes, but I heard it today, and I think it's because I've been watching a lot of clips of him on YouTube because the Disasters Artist coming out. Does Morbius sound like Tommy Wiseau?
I have a note here. Dude, Morbius is literally Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah. He needs to play him in Spider-Man.
Dude, there was a line, and like his voice, his mannerisms were exactly the same, and then the
I
hair,
think it was when
and
he
the
was
fact
talk-
that he's a vampire, it all connected with me.
I
had
think
the
when he was
exact
talking
same
to
thought.
Deborah, when he's like, "Oh, Deborah, I really like you, but I'm in love with Felicia," and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I'm watching the room, like, and that's the thing with Tommy Wiseau, he could actually play Morbius, and it wouldn't feel like bad acting, like. And now I know, so like,
I'm so glad you had that thought too. That's hilarious.
I was like, man, like, now I know where Tommy Wiseau's actually from, like Transylvania, like legitimately. Because
He watched this show.
yeah.
What's inspired him to make the character.
It's okay. I'm really glad we felt about that, but
That's hilarious.
yeah, super weird but fun exchange between Peter Parker and Felicia
Yeah.
Hardy.
That made me realize that we haven't seen, like, at least in the 2 episodes prior, that Peter's not really around a whole lot. It's pretty much just all Spider-Man.
And
So that scene was super weird.
And the last time
super
I think we've seen Peter and Felicia together is when he met Hobgoblin as like fiance, right?
Yeah. That wasn't that.
That was
No,
the
no,
season
no.
finale. Yeah, but like
was that at the beginning of this?
no, it was the end when he was like, "Oh, Parker," and he's like, "I love," and he's being like all douche. He's like, "Oh, and I love this," and like he's like, because remember he got the spider sense and he thought it was Kingpin, but it was actually him.
No, I thought later. I think maybe it was one of the other episodes where she like, oh, we wanted you to come and look at these science projects or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, you could be right. I
Was
don't
it this
remember it.
episode?
No, but.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's been a
okay.
while since the last time we've seen Peter and Felicia together.
Yeah, that's when.
That's what I mean, and that's
Yeah,
I think that was needed because we haven't seen that side of the coin played at all in these episodes before.
And that could be a lot of fun with this storyline.
And in the comic books, it is a lot of fun, and that's the thing. I liked it. It was weird that he's like, cover me, I gotta do this, cover me. That's like that's just not how life works, Peter. But like.
He books it.
I liked it, and I want more, but this is the problem, and I think this is one thing that I can eat my words on. But if I remember why I like the Black Cat stuff, but I'm really pissed as like a fan, is like she leaves, and I don't know if she actually comes back for the season. And I know Black Cat is back around, but I don't think they actually really get to play with it as much because that's why I think the Morbius stuff.
Yeah, now is when you want to do it.
Yeah, I think now like the Morbius stuff is like it overtook the fun we were having with Peter and her, and I think that's the point to be like, oh, it was interrupted. They could have been something special, but I think you need a few more episodes, like even just something like Peter and Felicia. Like, I love Batman Returns, and there's a scene where Batman and Catwoman they're on a date together as they're normal people, and she's a crime thing going on, and they have like and he has obviously a Batman thing going on, and there's a scene where they're in separate rooms and they're trying to think of excuses they could say to one another to get out of it because they are living this double life, and like. We didn't even get that. We got to see them being fun, but we didn't even get to see Felicia being like, no, I can't watch this thing for you because I have something really important I have to do. Like, I think there's so much more they could have played with. I like the scene, but I wish there was more. Now that she's gone, it's really disappointing, actually.
And you think it would be kind of weird? Like, you think Peter or Spider-Man would pick up on this whole Felicia?
No, because she's super buffed. Her voice does change. I noticed when she's talking to Morbius and like her hair. So it's like, and I would think that he would just think who he knows as Felicia would not be
That's true.
this
He does
person.
say that.
Like, I don't think
It's a good thing, Felicia isn't here.
Yeah, good thing she's out of town. She wouldn't have handled this very well. Wow, what a dick.
because you handle things so well, Pete.
I forget what I was gonna say. So,
Shocker's back. Always good to see.
the big shock daddy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Shocker. He's not in this episode enough. He's just a hired goon. He's part of the Insidious 6.
Oh yeah, of course.
But another thing I gotta shout out, we get the fucking flashback of Morbius turning into the vampire again, and again Peter Parker has to stress, oh, and it was my fault that he became the vampire. I'll always stress, Morbius stole it from his locker. They show it again. Morbius is a fucking criminal, and he deserves everything that's happened to him, and it's not Peter Parker's fault. Lots of stuff is Peter Parker's fault. This was Dawn. So frustrating every time he says that.
Peter Parker's just a nice guy. He's just looking out for Michael.
At one point he says, she saves my bacon then ditches me. I've never heard the expression saves my bacon.
No.
I think it's to say save my ass, but
I know, but that's not what I said. I understood.
bacon.
I
I
said,
feel like I've
have
heard
you
it
ever
before.
heard save my bacon?
I'm pretty sure I've heard it before.
Okay.
When I was younger, though.
I can't recall if I've heard that. I don't know. I think it's possible. One thing I found very strange. So when Connors and Deb after they found Morbius in the cave, they like host a press conference and like announce
so
it.
dumb.
Right? Like, how stupid is
are
that?
you
Like, that's going to
thinking?
cause nothing but problems
And
to
even then-
tell the whole world when there's obviously this world is filled with all sorts of superpowered goons and, Kingpin's still kicking around. Like, there's a lot of bad guys. I don't know why they thought it would be a good idea to mention that publicly, especially when they don't know. Like, what if they try to save him and they accidentally, like, kill him and he's just dead? Like, is that something you really would want to have to describe later?
Well,
I think they should have just waited that one out.
Well, yeah, they didn't have a press conference when they like, caught like the lizard, and they're like, "Oh, it's fine." Like they kept that under the rug, and that's why it doesn't fit. Like, one, Kate Connors isn't maybe his friend, but I don't buy Connors the guy. Like, we need a press conference, and two, I feel like Deborah would be like, "Yeah, this isn't cool," and even just throw a line about like, "Oh, I don't know if we should be doing this," but everyone's just like, "Yeah, we got him. This is what we're doing. We're telling the world." It's like,
Well, she
And it's
even is uneasy when they're telling the whole world about it as well.
I guess, but I feel like there should have been something more about it, because then action starts and that kind of goes away. And it's fine. It's a 22-minute TV show, so I get it. But it does make no sense of, like, they don't even still know what they're going to do with him. Like, and they're just going to fucking announce it to the world. Like, okay, like, let's get all the eyes on Morbius and this experiment going on. And, And then later on, when Felicia and Morbius get back together, which is a good scene, she's like takes off the mask, says I'm Felicia and my beloved, all that. There's a weird line where she's just like, meet me in the clock tower, and then she's like, really quickly, she's like, it's been rebuilt, and then the scene ends. It's like it was like 80 Arden later, because like it was really quick, and it was like. And I did hate that they met in the clock tower, because even Landon's like, didn't you think we'd be watching the clock tower? And it's like, yeah, didn't you think they'd be watching his fucking clock tower? This guy didn't live at home. He lived in this clock tower like a weird-ass motherfucker, and you don't think they're going to watch that? Super stupid. Like, just like the press conference thing, make no sense. I get it. It's going to be a cool place for the finale of this episode to take place, but meh.
And I guess, I mean, the reason that they couldn't talk there was because Spidey was onto them or something, but... I mean, he would still be on to you either way, I guess. It would have made more sense to just talk there.
And I feel like Black Cat has enough clout to be like, hey, if Spider-Man shows up, she could try to at least talk him and say like, hey, like, Morbius is a good guy, he's going through like, whatever. And even then, she doesn't know that it's Peter Parker, but if she were to talk to him and it is Peter Parker, he'd eventually be like, okay, I could work with this. But yeah, so they just kind of assume that, oh, this is the best way to do things and it'll be fine. But she kind of makes things worse for them, I think, in the long run.
She kind of screwed that one up, didn't she? Classic. She's always screwing things up.
And then, oh yeah, go ahead.
I was saying, I like how towards the end, Black Cat was really coming on to Peter.
Well, yeah, and then this is another flirty thing. The way he hugs her and just wraps his body around her, he's just ready to pounce on her. Like, that's not just a regular hug. That's like, he's ready to
It's pretty intense.
He's ready to get downtown right now. And it's just like, from the beginning of this episode when he's like, I might like her, and then now it's like, I love her, and just like, the way he touches her made me feel uncomfortable sometimes.
I kind of forgot, like, am I watching a kid show again?
Especially the next episode.
It never feels weird as Peter Parker. Like, he just seems like a nice stand-up dude.
When he gets that suit on, he's super horny.
He's super horny. It's all the webbing and stuff.
Yeah,
it's all the webbing.
It really changes a man, I guess. I don't know.
I got nothing else.
Yeah.
Mono blue.
I would just like how Deborah is just coming, I don't know, kind of a bigger role, because they don't really have any other... I like Deb.
Nah.
I like it because she's not really like the focus of any episode, but I like that she's kind of like the reason why things are happening. And, because she's a character that's been around, and she's got that relation with Connors as well.
I think it's just different to have something, you know, fresh come into the series instead of kind of the same old.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you don't have Smythe sitting behind a desk looking for Morbius again or something like that.
One thing to mention too about this episode, and that's why this next episode and this one kind of feel like a two-parter, is that Black Cat mentions she's looking for Blade in this episode.
Yeah.
And then, I think his name's Whistler. I don't think we've seen that character before. Like that scientist dude that she's talking to. I think his name's Whistler. Whistler? Something like that.
Like Blade's partner?
Yeah, we've definitely seen him.
Yeah, he was definitely in the Blade episodes.
100%.
Yeah, you might be thrown off because I'm pretty sure they changed voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
But he is in the Blade.
Well, he didn't look familiar to me either. I mean, he's a pretty generic looking dude, but he mentions that Blade
a little bit older.
I don't know. I think he looks pretty.
I think he is. He just has like a blue shirt. He has, but like
he mentions that Blade's off in Transylvania or something. So.
Doing shit. Yeah.
But yeah, that's mentioned in this episode at least.
Yep.
Overalls?
Middle. Like I said, I think there's stuff I like in this episode, but there's far more stuff. The disappointment outweighs. I think this episode could have a lot more potential, and I thought this was one. I think we've talked about this before, where there's episodes where one gets better when two happens. You're like, okay, I can see where it's a spoiler, but we're gonna get into in a second. The whole introduction of Blade's mother really derails the next episode, so it really takes away from the. This show and why we love this show is about like the personal struggle. The next episode just becomes really action McGee and like fighting vampires, and
action McGee.
With this, there is a love triangle between Felicia, a Morbius, and a Peter. They should play that up. I like them conversating. I like the episode ending with like, oh, but I love you, and she's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm just trying to figure out that stuff. I love, and I know it's a kid show. They need the action, but like many episodes we praise them for pulling them both off at the same time, right? And I thought that almost set up episode 2 to do that, and it doesn't really. I like some things about that, but yeah, middle of the thumb for me.
I don't know.
Middle of the thumb.
I'm gonna give it a middle thumb as well too. I think it was good, but like it didn't blow me away. It wasn't. It was kind of like its episode stand on. It doesn't really make sense how it like. It makes sense how it like adds on to the second.
Yeah.
It kind of sets it up, but
it's a setup episode, but it's not like the
really.
traditional two-parter where it's like you have to you don't have to watch this one really. Like I don't know, and it's fine because that's legitimately the way a TV show
I think you
works,
honestly,
but
I think you kind of do. I think it's like the Felicia Morbius stuff is important.
yeah, I guess.
I
Obviously,
think it's just a good like reminder of. Like,
I think
what
we would have all liked to see like that triangle happen for sure, but it doesn't. But I still
it's
think
almost like a square because you got Deborah trying to go for Morbius as well too.
Yikes.
yeah, because they kind of just throw it. Well, it's like
What
a
do you call
triangle,
it?
but then there's like also one line sticking out connected
Yeah.
to Morbius.
What do you call what would be an octagon? What's a fifth one that has 5 points or something?
Pentagon.
Pentagon.
Yeah.
For Flash.
Oh
Throw a
yeah.
flash in there too.
Yeah, and then what would you call one with 6?
Hexagon.
Yeah, for Kurt Connors. He's he's trying to get up in there.
2 a.m. text.
Yeah. Oh, I'm up, Felicia.
I'm up.
Well,
Don't
What
you
was that?
worry.
I think I'll drop another 45-degree angle on this one. Thumbed upwards, I should say.
Mhm.
Yeah, I Morbius obviously he's had a much better story before, but I still like seeing him again. I like the dynamic with him and Black Cat. It's always fun to see.
Yeah.
So
Those are if Black Cat was not on these episodes would be really
yeah,
good.
she honestly is like on the quality of Spider-Man. Like she's very entertaining.
Yeah. The Vampire Queen. After a confrontation with Miriam, the Vampire Queen, Blade is horrified to learn she was once his human mother.
Ooh.
Using a psychic link, Miriam finds Morbius, who is fighting his vampire hunger, to find out what unconventional means he used to become one of her kind. Miriam plans to use the device to create more vampires to serve her. The neogenic recombinator. Yeah, that's what she.
That old
the
thing
learning of that
pops up again,
and that's literally the episode.
I guess when you put it that way, it sounds pretty boring.
I think it was pretty boring, to be honest, and I'll be honest, I watched this episode twice tonight because I was a little busy the first time, but I was like,
Same.
okay, I'm gonna rewatch it because maybe it was just okay. I was busy, I was doing some stuff, I was cooking, so I'll rewatch again. But then when I watched it, I was like, no, I'm actually remembering quite a few of this stuff. It's just I was kind of bored by it. And I literally just forgot about like half an hour later because I was looking at my notes. I'm like, like the biggest thing I remember about this episode is Felicia's in a towel. The episode starts with her out of the shower in a towel, and I put like, is this a PG show? Like, I don't know. They won't say kill, they won't say nothing, but like she is wet and like she is just in a towel, and that's super weird for this show. But like that's the most memorable thing about this, and the ending of just like I feel disappointed that Felicia. I guess this is my overall. Felicia leaves with Morbius because, like I said, I feel like there's so much more they could have done with that, or even just Black Cat and Spider-Man, and especially which I can't remember all these episodes coming up, but the past few episodes like we just referred to, Black Cat's been a standout. When you take her out, it's like oof, like where are we going next? Because I think this season is probably the weakest one since season 1. Like I think 2 was really good, and then 3 was maybe like the crescendo.
Mm-hmm.
This has kind of been good to all right, and this episode was that. I like Blade as a character. I like they tied it in a good way with the whole vampire stuff, but the mother thing, I think that could have been its own episode. This could have been a 3-parter of focus somehow, like get Blade to come back to help with Morbius, and then follow him for a bit, and his mom is in the third. Like it's a 3-parter, but not in the sense that they're 3 parts, but like it's a 2-parter, and the 2-parter Blade's back, and it sets up a one
Each
episode
one
with Blade.
builds for the
Yeah,
third, yeah.
we're throwing the Blade mother thing in with the Morbius, Black Cat, Spider-Man stuff, all that stuff going on, and then her turning people into vampires. For me, it felt like too much to feel like, and not in a good way. It was too much for me. It was, so I think I enjoyed this episode the least out of all of them. So, and I don't think it's even a thumbs down, because thumbs down for me are like Spire Slayer episodes where there's nothing good, or it's on or Rocket Racer where it's like this feels like a waste of time. There's some good stuff in here. There's some good character moments, and plus you see Harry again get fucking left, and he has no idea where Spider-Man is or Peter Parker is. But for me it was a kind of disappointing episode, disappointing 2-parter, one of the weaker 2-parters. So
so I'm gonna kind of shift gears here. I actually thought this was the better episodes out of all of them that we watched.
Wow.
Just
Hot take.
because I really enjoyed how a little bit busier, because I thought all the other ones were pretty boring. There wasn't really much going on. And this
Fair
one
enough.
kept going, and they
Fair enough.
kept adding layers and kept me more engaged than the rest of them.
Or is it because you watched it twice? So if you watched the other ones twice, you'd feel the exact same way.
No,
I know, just teasing.
I think for me, like just like the little twist that they keep adding, like it's his mother this whole time that he's trying to chase this person to try to kill. So he's conflicting. Yeah, it could have been better, as you know, that could have been its own episode.
Yeah, because it's a big thing.
It is a big thing, and there's a lot happening in these 20 minutes. But I think
Star Wars has 6 movies built on that one thing about a parent being the villain. This has 13 minutes.
13 minutes.
yeah, I know. I enjoyed how the build up worked, and you know, it kept me busy and more engaged and finding out more information, and you know, we'll go into more of the specifics a little bit later. But I thought I quite enjoyed it. So
I think I'm probably like an in between of you two then. What I liked about this episode is, you know, it's the first like new character I feel like we've gotten in a while in Miriam, Blade's mother, and
Is it a good character though? Is this a character you'd want to see again? Because I don't.
I don't know, she doesn't have like a terribly high amount of development for sure, but I think she has a cool look, and I like seeing her fly around, and I love, you know, like there's that one scene where she is like shooting the recombinator out like that disco ball, and it's just like shooting all these people.
I saw it coming from a mile away.
I like some of like the visual, you know, when she like picked people up with the green like telekinesis thing. Yeah, so I think she's cool, and I like that she has a tie to a character we've already had. You know, if she was a one-off and she was just random and forgettable, then it's kind of lame. But since she's connected to Blade, I don't know if comes back or whatever. I don't know if Blade ever comes back, but I like that she's tied to that character, and I like that it's, I guess, sort of like an excuse to bring Blade back because he's a fun character. I think he's better in his own episode, which was
A couple seasons ago.
yeah, that must have been season.
Well, 2 because the Morbius stuff,
Season
remember?
2,
So because that's when he
Had
got
to have been,
introduced.
yeah.
So
So it's been a while since we've seen him, and I've kind of been waiting for him to come back. So I like that. But where I agree with you, Travis, that like I don't know, it does feel like a little lackluster at points as well, and like I don't know, I don't really like the ending. I don't like that the Black Cat and Morbius stuff is in this episode as well.
yeah,
Because while I think the Blade and his mother stuff is decent, but it probably would have been better had they focused on that. And then obviously the Black Cat Morbius stuff would have been better if they focused on that. So instead, I think 3-parter was the solution here. You know, get us to write these shows. You know, go back to 1994
I'd
when I
love
was
to remake this show.
negative
No,
1
I don't
years
want.
old.
I want to remake the show.
negative
We're
1.
rebooting Spider-Man 1994.
Reboot.
Oh fuck!
We gotta get the OG voice actor who did Spider-Man now.
All of them. We're bringing them all back. Even Mark Hamill for Last Jedi.
And
You're playing Hobgoblin again, motherfucker.
Definitely Punisher as well,
And then definitely Tom Wiseau as.
and Doc Ock.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good
Tombstone.
voice actors in
Yeah.
the show.
Fisk for sure.
We can redo like I don't know, Chameleon or something.
And Smythe. We can get into Smythe.
And the
We can-
Jamaican cap lady.
Maybe we'll forget about
Chameleon. He doesn't speak.
maybe we'll forget about Smythe. You know.
Chameleon. Yeah.
doesn't say anything.
We'll figure it out. We'll replace him with somebody. We'll just put Mysterio in his place for all of them.
Mysterio. We need some more Mysterio in our lives.
Yeah, don't you feel like that guy in that Kraven episode who was running away from Crawford as the Beast looked like exactly the way Trent Beck does, like Mysterio without the fishbowl? Because he's like
Wow.
blonde and.
That's a big question, Travis. I can't answer
I should have
that.
brought that up later.
You should have taken a screenshot so I could see.
I should have.
It's like a 2-second frame.
There's a great line where Spider-Man and Black Cat are talking, and she's like, "Someone close to me was a victim of vampirism, but I don't want to talk about it." What? If Spider-Man
Yeah.
can't put 2 and 2 together now, it's like now he's a little dumb. But like, vampirism isn't a thing.
Sometimes he doesn't want to believe.
I know there's vampires in this world, but I don't think that's just a casual thing.
They're
we
not
throw
common.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, vampirism. I don't know about that, Felicia.
I don't know. I feel like you can give it a pass in this world.
I don't.
You have a spot. She's got powers.
But no
he's
one's
got
suffering
powers.
from catism or spiderism.
It's
Sure, the man spider. You know.
That's just Peter, though.
Yeah, that's true.
It is a Peterism.
Let's bring Man Spider back.
I think you could just put ism
Guys
at the end of
favorite.
things.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's favorite.
It's a Travis.
Transitionism.
Transitionism.
Yep.
Wow. Yikes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's talk about
Blade calls.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Blade calls out Spider-Man and says, "You've never been much of a team player." Is that true? I think at times he doesn't want to work with people, and that fits the narrative with Black Cat. But I think there's times when I think more than
in fights he can definitely combo off of other people pretty well.
Yeah, and I feel like he always trying to work with somebody, whether it's Kraven or Punisher. Eventually, like I feel like there's some.
I think at first it's hard to work with him. He's not a team player.
I would say he's a good team player in the sense that he can really get shit done. You know, if you let's say you have a plan and like part of your plan, you know, everyone has like a certain objective in this plan. Whatever you give Spider-Man, he's gonna accomplish that, and probably like other people's goals as well.
Yeah.
So in that, I think he's a good team player.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's because he's maybe wants to be the solo man. Poor dog.
It's tired.
I like the Blade chase scene. I like that place that they're at, Transylvania, that like giant vampire castle and like town. It's just like kind of a visual we don't really ever get to see in the show, so it's kind of cool. It's something different. But what I don't like about that scene is that how Blade finds out of Morbius's existence. There's just some random Daily Bugle chilling in this place, which is clearly not like.
Not New York.
Well, obviously, yeah, it's that guy I was talking about. He's in, like, Eastern Europe. Why the fuck is there, like, a recent Daily Bugle paper just chilling on the sidewalk here?
In the 90s, too.
It's awful. Like, it made no sense whatsoever.
Morbius is back. I've seen... No, okay.
Well, she's looking for vampires, and that's a hot story.
So you think she had... But even then, that would mean she had to go all the way to New York.
Or someone had to ship it to her.
No, you just get it shipped.
But like,
or like you can get newspapers around the world anyways. Like you could get.
Okay, so but 90s.
BBC.
So 90s.
So are you saying?
In the 90s.
Are you saying that she is just getting like the Daily Bugle sent to her every day in hopes that maybe there'll be some Morbius news?
Or someone sent it to her, like, hey, she's got little contacts everywhere.
You know what? No, because she has the telepathic thing. She can know where Morbius is.
How long in the 90s do you think it takes to ship a newspaper? Is what I ask.
Well, it's still planes. It's not that big of a deal.
But no, that's not. You didn't. You're pulling it to the field. I asked how many days do you think it would take from in the 90s in New York to get a paper to fucking Transylvania?
I think a couple days.
Here's where the problem comes in. We don't know how much time passes between these episodes. It could be like a few months.
Yeah, and then
or like this difference between him looking for this vampire and then him and the whole Morbius situation could have been, we don't know. We don't have time.
We don't know.
Yeah,
so you can't use time as an excuse in this situation.
Blade and Harry.
You're just putting a Travism on it.
Travism. Blade and Harry. Fuck, I keep saying that. Blade and Terry. Detective Lee. Man,
oh yeah, I forgot.
They must be having some great sex if they're doing it, because anytime they kiss, it is the most passionate, intense kissing you'll see on this show, and maybe any other. They just go full throttle. There's no care, and anytime they see each other, it's just back to the way it first was when they first met. There's no like break. It's just like and he's always just Shakespeare. Like, you've made me feel feelings like I never have before. Like, just
he knows what to say.
Star-crossed lovers, you know.
The one thing that kind of weirded me out is at the end of the episode when he's like, "Oh, I gotta go find my mom." There's like he has like 3 separate lines, and he like says them, and then he like kisses her, and then he says like another line, but the whole time he's just talking about his mom, and then he's just like making out with her. And the whole scene, she doesn't say a single word. She doesn't even say bye.
She's taking.
He just pieces out, and that's it. It was very.
She was crying.
It was a very strange scene to me.
And she was depressed later. Her and Spider-Man like,
we're just
soulmates.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have a team up.
Oh God, Peter, don't bark up that tree. And then there's some weird thing from Whistler, because at one point they have Morbius in the cave, and Felicia's checking on him. He's like, "What is with all you humans and vampires checking him?" He's like, "You and Morbius, Lee and Blade." And he's like, "What do I have to do? Get some fangs?" And it felt like, I guess they were trying to play off his joke, but it felt like he was hitting on Felicia. Like, "What do I got to do? Get some fangs?" And it's a really awkward moment. Like, she's like checking on Morbius. He's unconscious. She's holding his hand. Like, leave her alone, Whistler. Like,
I think he's just jealous.
He felt very sleazy.
Yeah, if you think about like Whistler's existence, though, like he's a pretty fucking weird dude. He's just some guy that
waits
looks
around
into,
for Blade.
He waits for Blade.
He's
looks
sending
after
newspapers.
vampires.
Oh, you know what? She said, "Oh, where's Blade? Oh, I haven't had contact with him in a while because he was in Transylvania last time."
Then what's he doing though? Like,
he's looking for the other vampire, and then that's why he comes back.
No, not Blade. What's Whistler doing this time?
He's just straight chilling.
Vampire searching,
Yeah.
Vampire experiments.
He's like, "I don't know what Blade's doing.
I'll stay in the sewers till you get back, Blade."
I'm gonna do me."
Oh.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think Blade is gonna send him a paycheck either. So
No.
Send him some garlic.
Sends him some garlic. That's his sustenance.
Just keep making my
garlic
vials
and
for me.
garlic juice.
Those weapons better be ready when I get back, boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then at one point, Whistler's very disappointed in Blade because he's like, I trained him better because he like kind of has a chance to take out his mom and he doesn't, which classic. And then his mom decides he's gonna turn Blade into a fully vampire, and that doesn't go well because then you referred to earlier it goes throughout the club and they hit multiple people, and she gets attached to these people really quick because when they get turned to unvampire, she's like, my children, like they're only your vampires for like 3 minutes, but you know.
I think it's more of a figure of speech.
Yeah, I think so as well too. She's like trying to collect
the kidlings or
because
like her squad.
Obviously, because they all kind of get bopped. I mean, I guess they don't die when Blade throws that like gas thing.
No, it just changes them back.
But still, she
they fall from the
she
sky
didn't really
and
care a
land
whole
on
lot.
Yeah.
I guess vampires are buoyant or more floaty or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know how they float.
Or they have these sound effects, like, it's great.
I did enjoy every time Blade would come out. He's got like this rock music happening in the background.
It was very quick. I did notice it too. They hit like the drums like 4 times, then they're done.
I don't know who said this line. I think maybe it was Blade, but at some point someone says, "Not on your afterlife."
Oh,
it's like not on your life, like it's like down on your afterlife. So that was all right. And then Black Cat, I guess it's a coincidence, but she just fully steals Uncle Ben's line of "with great power comes great responsibility." Yeah, twice.
With greater power comes greater responsibility.
Yeah, she just upped the ante. No, me either. It felt super cheesy, and that just hampered the whole ending. I liked the ending of she's like, "Oh, like I'm gonna leave, and I don't want you to," but it's like, well, you're gonna do this for me because whatever. And then that's the first time when she leaves, he does say that he loves her, and but now it doesn't matter because she's gone, and that's not a thing. So
she says she loves him too.
I know, but that's what makes it confusing. So does she still love Morbius? Does she love them both? Is she go?
She loves the idea of him. It's like a.
The idea of who though?
Of Spidey, but not being with him because he's too wishy-washy. And
can
you blame her? Can you blame her?
Can you blame him?
Yeah, I guess we don't know that for sure. Yeah. One thing that also kind of bothered me in this episode is so Spidey he's tracking down Miriam, trying to find out what she's up to, and he finds finds her down in a hole in some weird cabin. Without an arm. Anyways, he finds like this piece of paper and he's like, "Oh, this is a print for the neogenic recombinator. That must be what she's looking for." I was like, I'm completely shocked that like the entire information to create a neogenic recombinator can be found on one piece of paper, not even double-sided.
Not that much.
I would think that is some pretty advanced technology.
There's recipes that are longer than that.
It was footnotes. It was the footnotes.
I guess that's all she needs. She's pretty smart or something. I was just kind of shocked.
Yeah.
That really got me.
Or maybe the writing's just super small and you gotta get a magnifying glass, right? Because you don't know what the deal is there.
I don't know. He looked at it with one quick glance and knew what it was.
Yeah.
So true.
Also, we find Harry knocks on the door of Peter.
Yeah.
This is big.
It's a big moment.
Knocks. Peter, are you there? And doesn't hear anything. You know what?
Is this a big moment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is this not a big moment?
How is this not a big? Opens the door, finds Spider-Man's mask in the drawer.
I actually forgot that happened.
Oh man, this is
How did you
huge.
forget?
This is massive.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I think just because the rest of this episode just took me out of it.
Yeah. I thought it was great, and then all of a sudden just flashbacks like, this kind of makes sense. Like I ask where Peter is.
So many
window
unwarranted flashbacks because it's just a flashback to the previous episode.
I always wondered why he left these windows
open.
It's
like
a
breeze going through.
That's what I'll praise the show where it's like we flashback all the time.
Yeah, there's always wind. Hey, the curtains are always
super sunny.
It's a classic history.
I'll praise the show where they do these flashbacks, sometimes unwarranted, but they do flashbacks to multiple seasons later. They have so little for Harry that they flash back to just the episode before of the time where he almost got Peter. It's so fucking hilarious, but yeah, that's gonna be big because it's a big tease as far as the next episode is called The Return of the Green Golems. That's a tease for everybody. So.
Spoilers.
Yeah,
100%.
You would know 3 seconds into the episode. It's a good tease. Come on.
I love that moment though. I think
it was the best part.
Finally, we get to see some development with Harry.
Well, yeah,
finally get to see someone know
like
who
a lot
Spidey
more
is.
like backstory towards that Harry and Spider.
Yeah, I actually, you know what? Now that you mention it that way, like I kind of want someone else to find out who he is instead of.
I want Felicia to find that mask and be like, oh shit.
Yeah, I want someone else other than Harry. Harry, the character that we've had a collective.
Deborah.
Like you couldn't even make one full episode of his screen time.
Or we want Anna Watson, MJ's aunt.
Oh.
It's Anna that I found out.
Don't want her.
I have nothing else to say on this episode.
No, that's everything I have. I thought it was okay. So I'll start off with my.
Well, does Dylan have
Dylan,
it?
I don't think so.
You're just
Sorry,
saying,
Dylan. Nope, you got nothing else.
Nah,
Kyle's
saying,
giving us overalls.
Kyle. God damn it.
So I'm gonna give my rating for this episode. We've talked a lot. I gave it.
Yeah.
I really liked it at the beginning, and then we kind of came up some good points. It's like, maybe it wasn't as good as I thought. So I'm gonna give it 45.
Wow.
I still think it's good.
That dropped.
Still like a lot.
You
of
said it was
things.
the best, but you gave another episode a thumbs up.
Yeah, I know, but we talk through things, and it makes you rethink about what
It
you
does.
It does.
But yeah, 45 for me. I thought it was good, but there's some issues, and this could have been a 3-parter.
I'll give it 25 down.
Ooh,
So not a full thumbs down, but 25%. Or
45 or
not
50?
45, because that's pretty low.
45.
Yeah, 25. It's just below the medium. There's a few stuff.
The way he's holding this thumb is not.
Whatever. It's a little. It's a.
You passed math. 11.
Actually, I did somehow. It was a long time ago, as Obi-Wan would say. Yeah, I think I made it pretty clear. I've forgotten things about this episode. I watched it twice. I'm not a big fan of this episode. I was disappointed about how the Blade Morbius stuff kind of went down. I think, like I said, it could have been 3-part, could have been done differently. There's some good moments in there. There's even some fun action, them just beating up the vampires. But this whole weird mini Avengers of Black Cat, Blade, Morbius, and Spider-Man didn't have the punch it was gonna. Because at one point they showed them at the door for him. They're all just standing together about to take on vampires, and I was like, this just feels so rushed. It doesn't feel that warranted. So, yep, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, you know what? I think my heart tells me to give it a straight middle thumb.
Oh no!
But honestly, I do like the Harry. I do like that Harry reveal again. So I am gonna continue with my 45.
Nice.
Because all these episodes were just okay.
Yeah,
they were just alright.
Okay.
Kind of a bad string.
Some
of
great
episodes.
moments for sure, but nothing consistent, and not the great moments were split between 4 episodes. None of them were packed into one, unfortunately.
I feel like recently we've either had just a bunch of great episodes or 2 great episodes and then 2 good to all right ones. But these 4 were a struggle. But I think the next ones are gonna be
I don't feel passionate about which one I have to pick as my favorite because
we do that. Yeah.
I think I will go with the Smythe Silvermane that episode, the Partners episode. Partners.
Yeah,
is the title.
I kind of have to.
I'm gonna go with that one.
Yeah.
Because it is the best of the bunch, but I mean, honestly, that might be one of the lowest favorite episodes of the whole series so far. I mean, episode 1 had Spider. What was it? Because the Spider Slayers are 2 episodes. What was the other episode?
Lizard.
Night
of Lizard.
Okay, so that's not good. We're going back. We're going back to that fabled episode.
So this might take the second place as far as the
yeah, that's unfortunate too, because this is kind of our departure of the Black Cat as the main storyline.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. She'll come back at some point, I'm sure, but this was supposed to be her season, and now she's already gone.
I think there's some interesting stuff coming up, and we're getting to the finale, and finale's usually been good the past few seasons. So then we get
the last few years.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but and then season 5, which is gonna be fucking nuts for you guys. You have no idea what's coming.
No.
Unfortunately, I saw a title of one of the episodes.
Oh yeah,
on the thumbnail, so I'm a little spoiled.
Yeah, it's some weird shit coming your way. So
I know. For myself, the last episode was my favorite one.
But you gave it other episodes.
I know it's 45, but if we're gonna pick between the 2 of them,
okay, fair enough.
You go left and right.
Fields, where I like something more, but Suicide Squad, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
You just did that. You just rated something higher, but you chose.
Although he finally got to a point where he's like, maybe I should reevaluate my Suicide Squad.
He said that the other day. Yeah.
He finally admitted it.
Because he explained us that he's not rewatched Suicide Squad.
Taylor?
Yeah, and it's a 10 out of 10 movie for him.
Yikes.
The movie's been out almost 2 years now. I still haven't rewatched it.
I haven't either.
I
actually put BVS on the other day, and I watched.
I did watch.
I
BVS
honestly,
too.
I did. I watched 2 minutes, and then I was like, I'd rather watch something else, honestly.
I didn't. You rewatching it? I didn't think it was that bad.
I told you to rewatch it. It's better on the second time.
I should give it a watch. I just don't like see. I know. I'm not going to talk about BVS here.
We
talked about Spider-Man on the show.
We've talked about DC quite a bit. Yeah, we talk about Spider-Man. If you like what we do here, especially head over to Patreon, because that's where you can, at this time, you're gonna get. You could maybe probably when these release, you're gonna get every Spider-Man retrospective episode if you went over the Patreon at the $5 level. By the time they're gonna release, you could get everything. So if you like here and you don't want to wait a week, you don't want to wait a month for the next episode, throw down that money and support us, and we're gonna give you great Spider-Man content as a trade. And if not, please subscribe.
That's what we do here.
Like, rate, review. Please comment. Let us know. Let us know about. I don't know what even this is episode. You know, like.
What do you think of this little 4 episodes?
Are you happy with what happened with Black Cat and how she's kind of gone now?
Exactly.
What are your
You
thoughts
want
on
more?
Peter and Black Cat?
Mm-hmm. You can find
Do
us
you
on
feel
YouTube.
like Harry's life sucks?
Oh, that's a full on. Do you want that
Is
spin-off
it really
episode?
warranted for Harry
Just a
to
show
feel like
called
this?
Harry. SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, YouTube, all that, the whole shebang.
Everybody
Please
hates
subscribe. I love you, Harry.
I
Thank you very much for tuning in. And until next time,
Whoa.
we'll catch you on the web. Flawless.
Flawless.